Hi! Fancy seeing you here. Hello! I'm Jess, this is my channel, thanks for being here. I see we have a lot of Camburger fans in chat. We were discussing this before we went live. It's so nice to see you. Welcome on in. My name is Jess. You can find me echo_JG everywhere, and this is my channel. Thanks for being here, and thanks for coming for this awesome game we're about to play. I'm so excited to play with all these cool people. So let's go around and say hi to everyone, starting with Jan. Hi, Jan.
Hi there, I'm Jan. I tend to hang out a lot on Jess's stream, and I'm happy to jump in and, be some teens at the mall today.
Yes. And next is Kaitlin.
Hi, I'm Kaitlin. I'm a comic artist, illustrator, did the cover for this game, and I'm very excited to play it for the first time on stream.
Yes. And I'm so excited. I already told Kaitlin and Matthew that I specifically put in, when I was building the layout, they sent me the art, and I specifically put in the angry boss and the mopping teen because I was like, I love them so much. Yep. We need to have them with us while we mall kid. So this is happening. And of course, Matthew. Hi, Matthew.
Hello. I'm Matthew. I made Mall Kids. I like making little storytelling weird games, rules light games in my spare time. You might also know me from Humblewood as a lead writer on Humblewood, and I have a series of D&D subclass guides on DM's Guild.
They're very cool.
They're very good. One time, when I was building a Humblewood character on stream, Matthew came in and built me a special class while we were streaming. While I was building my first, I think I was building a little Burbarian, we were calling them, and we were sad because there wasn't like a forest elemental barbarian class. And Matthew was like, hang on, I'm gonna fix this, and literally wrote it out and sent it to me while we were streaming, and I was like, this is amazing.
Hold the phone, I've got this.
Hold my stream, I got this. So yeah, it was pretty cool. That was a kind of an oversight when we looked at that. We're like, there's not enough like nature and forest based stuff in D&D outside of druids and rangers, so that was cool.
It was awesome, and I appreciated it. And now I'm very, very excited to be a mall kid with all y'all today.
Yes.
Yeah. Mall Kids. I guess we can just kind of jump into talking about the game. It's based on Grant Howitt's Honey Heist system. It's a 2-stat D6 system, but it's fleshed out. Mall Kids started as a 1-page game. And the theme of the game, as Kaitlin can attest to, is just keep adding stuff. Just please keep adding stuff. And now it's a 20-some page zine PDF with amazing art.
Yeah.
It started. I asked Kaitlin to make a cover, and she made the cover, and then I asked her to make spot art, and then headers, and then a character sheet. And about a month later, we have a full-on zine, and I have buttons and stickers and business cards, and it kind of got wildly out of hand, and I love it.
It's all very exciting.
Yes. Mall Kids is just a game about being a teen at the mall, and this is based on my experience growing up. I've worked in no less than 4 separate malls in my life. I've worked in city urban malls and sprawling suburban malls and outdoor malls and all sorts of malls. So this was just kind of a nod to, my teenage years. It definitely has a kind of a 90s, early 2000s vibe to it, just because that's when I was working at the mall. But the system is, kind of setting agnostic. You can be whatever you want. One of the pre-made malls in the book is this weird sci-fi mall that has like a raptor farm in it. It's bizarre and weird, and you can do whatever you want with it. So I'm very excited to see what kind of nonsense we create
today. So much same. I I'm curious if we're gonna get like I was saying, like I've never got to be in like an outdoorsy mall. I'm curious if we'll get something like very similar to what something we're all familiar with, or something very foreign to all of us. I think it's really interesting either way. I have a question.
Yeah.
Are we playing it extremely modern, or are we taking it back like a decade or so?
We can certainly take it back. I mean, there's tables, there's random tables for generating characters and scenarios in here, so we can roll on those tables and see what we are handed us, or we can just actively decide that we want it to be if we want to do our shenanigans in like the only like weird outdoor mall in cold northern Canada in the 90s, like we can just do that. Like we have the power, we have the authorship to just make that happen here today. So
it's just full of snow half the year.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like instead of the umbrella baskets, it's just like snowshoes in these little bins, so you can walk between stores. It could, so it can easily be that. So I'll leave that to Jess to decide how we want to organize our characters in our mall today. We could take chat suggestions too if they.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
If they want to tell us about our characters and or our mall, we can totally do that too.
That would be fun.
That is fun, because like when I went straight to the past, and Gremlin Lightning in chat went straight to the future. Like, how about a mall in LA in 2120? And I'm like, oh geez, what would that even look like? I'm imagining, like, I go straight to imagining a bad Back to the Future like with really weird shoes and hover skateboards and like.
We can quickly run down like what it takes to make kids in malls really quick if you want to, so that way chat knows like what we're looking for here.
I think that's a great idea. I think it's a great idea to go through the
awesome,
because I mean I think we all have the PDF up in front of us, or the book if we have it, but just for anyone that doesn't, it does take you through everything. And I think it's a good look at these books. They're so good.
We have books. Do we want to talk about what this particular copy of the book is for, Jess?
You can go for it.
So this particular copy is gonna be mailed out to somebody on stream later. We're doing a giveaway, so I have PDF zine and PDF copy of the game. I have some buttons with Caitlin's amazing spot art in it. I have a couple of
angry boss is on there, and I love him so much.
Yep, I got Angry Boss, I got the horns, I got the mall, and I got the 90s S here.
Yes, yeah.
I got stickers, and then I have a micro expansion for the game. So this whole package is going to somebody later, I think around our halfway mark, around our break time.
So what we'll do is, when we decide it's a good time to take a break, because we will be taking a break in the middle, is we'll call out that we're doing the giveaway, and I'll activate it, and everyone will be allowed to enter, and it'll automatically be set at about a 15-minute timer. And when that goes off, which should be a little bit after we come back, so we can come back, chat a bit, and then it'll activate, someone will win. That person will get all the goodies.
That's right. I have bought way too many pins and stickers, so please.
You have so many.
I have so many. I bought so many just because like the Kickstarter did really well, and I had this extra money, and I wanted to do like more with this art. I was just like, this art, like I just put it goes in the book one time and that's it. And it's just like, no, that can't be it.
It needs to go more places. It's so good.
Right.
Matthew asked for some doodles on the inside, and I was like, what's a doodle that's a mall? I don't know. So I gave him like an 8.5 by 11, like just like full of stuff. And he was like, what? I wanted like 3 things.
Yeah. And so, I tried to put as many of them as the book as I could. So, all right. Well, let's talk about our kids first. I'm trying to think. So I kind of covered the game. The game is intended to be played in one shots. So it's perfect for what we're doing here today. It is a GM-less game, or as some people call a GM full game. We're basically going to take turns framing scenes. So we'll all get an opportunity to be a GM of sorts, set scenes and define stakes, and we'll roll some dice. So in that way, it is pretty rules light. character is pretty simple. It's just kind of based on some questions about what your teen looks like, what their style is. And then there's 3 questions to ask, and these can are answered, and these can be done with random tables or picking or just filling in. You talk about where you work, who you are in terms of like kid hierarchy, school culture, and what does your teen want. And that's kind of their drive for the session. You know, whenever you want to think about like what would your teen do? What does your teen want to spend their time on? This is their goal. So yeah, we start with names, pronouns, look, and style, and these are completely just free form. You can fill in as much or as little as you want about this. And then when it comes time to fleshing out like the specifics of your teen, again, you can roll on these tables. You can pick off these tables, or you could just write in whatever it is you feel like. Or if anybody wants to be bold, they can ask chat to tell them about their teen.
I was gonna say, would it be possible to wait till we find out what kind of person we are to like do a name? Because I almost feel like it might be fun. Like there's some personality there to it. Like,
yep, you can do it any way that you want to do it. This is there are several sections in the book. So this is the rule, the quote unquote rules about the tables. Roll 1 die for each of the questions below to randomly create your character's background. Alternatively, you can just choose one from each section or make it all up. It's your life, you do you. Like that's the rule. The rule is do whatever you want. But I know that there are people who like to have a little bit more structure. They like to have suggestions. They like to have examples when filling stuff out. And so I really wanted to make sure that that was in here. One of the big themes of the game was I wanted it to be really approachable for non-gamers, gamers, etc. I also have like a huge diatribe about the phrase non-gamer. I don't believe it exists. I don't believe there is such a thing as a non-gamer. I'm sorry. But I'll save that rant for another time. So for examples, in the where do you work, I have game store, clothing boutique, food court, housewares, kids play place, and mall security. Obviously, there are so many more things that a teen could be doing job-wise in the mall. Pet store, record shop.
I was going to say music store's got to, jump right out.
Yeah, I mean, especially if we're going 90s. If we're going 90s, then there has to be, a place that's, you can go listen to music for free and buy the latest, cassettes and CDs. So yeah, you can kind of just like fill in whatever is most interesting to you. Or again, if you want to, you can roll a die and let the cubes of fate decide what you do here.
I kind of think I want to roll unless chat has anything really, really good to suggest.
I saw a comic store.
I do. Someone was talking about bubble tea earlier, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
I love bubble tea. But
fun.
bubble tea would not be super like 90. Like bubble tea would not be.
No, what was the bubble tea of the 90s?
Like frappuccinos? Like
coffee. Blended coffee drinks were taken off.
Something like that.
Yep. Yeah, you can work in one of the 9 coffee stores in the mall.
Yeah. I don't even know which one I'm at. Like, which one are you at? Coffee shop? Shop coffee? Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna roll. I'm doing it.
All right.
Okay. I wanna. Kids play place. Oh no.
Oh my.
I'm gonna be so unimpressed with this.
Also, I am like very aware that in 99% of all malls, no one actually works at the kids play place, but like my mall has like this indoor, like you pay to drop your kid off, and it's like this huge little like play place with everything's padded in pastel colors and stuff. So But if you want to be like the person in charge of like managing just like the free for all kids play place, that's a thing too.
Yeah, that's true. I think I was thinking more like once again, I don't know what exists today, but I recall in my 90s mall that there was totally like a not a nursery area, but like a fun play place, but you would drop your kid, like there was literally a few attendants.
Yeah.
So I am imagining somewhat like that, but I like the idea that yeah, go ahead.
Literally, when I was younger, the good mall didn't have a comic shop, so we had to go to the bad mall that was like almost dead for the comic shop, and right across from the comic shop was the kids' play place.
Yeah.
It was like the only other thing in that mall.
Oh man.
So frequently they were terrorizing the mall.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, it was good times.
No, I like what Matthew said though about it being like it's mostly a free-form place, but maybe there's like a check-in person or like a go in. Like
there's a legal requirement for someone to be there.
Yeah,
but that's pretty much it.
That's it.
I saw DJ Phoenix said movie multiplex. I had already written down movie theater, so that is I'm with you.
I like that. That's really good.
And it is completely acceptable for multiple characters to work in the same place. It's all about there's also kind of an undercurrent of this game, which is technically we were all at the mall working today and yet somehow have to like do all of our stuff at the same time.
I love that.
So, yes, there's always kind of this tension of getting enough work done to not get yelled at, but also like hanging out.
Oh my god. Someone in the Darkest Argentum in the chat said the place should make you wear some sort of goofy animal ears or headband or something terrible like that. I love it. That's so great.
You've got like a hat with like ears coming out of it or something.
Yeah.
And you always forget you're wearing them.
Yeah. So just walk around with the like. Well, I actually for my second thing I rolled Scene Kid, so I could feel like I could just roll with it. I feel like I could roll with the
that would be perfect.
Yeah. I am wearing ears. What about it? Like, ooh, I really like what I rolled.
I'm intrigued by what I rolled, and I think it'll be funny.
Yeah.
Oh, you rolled too? I'm not rolling. I'm writing.
You don't have to. I was gonna roll and then see if I liked it, but I think I want to commit to it.
Nice.
Okay. I'm ready. As everyone does their intro, I'm gonna change our name tags on the screen so that we have our proper names. And not just wow, a teen, such a teen, much teen.
Those are the best teen names. Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna switch mine already because I'm ready. Do we have a specific order we want to? We could go back in the same way we started. Well, I just had to look that up. I didn't even spell that name properly. Are we going to introduce our kids and then do our mall, or do our mall and then introduce everything?
We can. I mean, we can also introduce the kids and kind of get an idea of the stores we've all chosen to work at, and have that help color, make sure that the mall that we choose kind of facilitates those things.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of prevailing theme of this game, is it's very like freeform. You can do it in lots of ways. The book, the rules as written say to flesh out your characters and then introduce them to each other and then define
a relationship.
Like
I really like that.
Yep, define one relationship.
I'm a big fan of making sure you have at least one connection in every game you play, and like sort of building those bonds together and stuff like that. I think that's really fun.
Yeah, exactly. This is something that like exists in D&D technically. If you get the right character sheet, if you get like the official character sheet, there's a place for bonds. But one of my biggest kind of like inspiration games is Dungeon World, and that literally has a mechanical system of rotating bonds with other characters that you act on and generate XP from.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like a middle ground. Like you do want to have like one defined relationship at the beginning of the game, and this is just another thing that you can act on. So at any time, if you're unsure of what to do or you can't come up with a good idea, it's really great for people who are not super good with improv or off the cuff stuff. Like you have this list of things that you can always act on. So, you know, if you don't know who should be in a scene with you, you could just look to your relationship and say, oh, that person I have this relationship with, so I'm going to frame a scene around that.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't know when I started like really playing more games that had bond builders in them, but I really love that. It's a lot of fun. Is everyone ready?
Sure.
I could go first, because I mean, we could go in the same order we went in before to do our introductions. If that's cool with everyone. We'll go back around the same way, so I'll go first. Okay, so my name is Valerie, but don't you dare call me that. It's Val. That's it. Nothing else. I didn't get to do this in real life, so I'm doing it now in my, like, I'm living out the fantasy. I definitely have, like, I definitely do on, like, days off, I definitely do, like, a really elaborate, like, mohawk, but on days where I'm working, I just swoop it all down, you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter anyway, because now it's under my, so for where I work at the kids' play place, which is literally called, like, Jungle Gyms or something like that. And
nice.
So I have to wear these like big gray elephant ears, and then there's a tie that's a gray, like a trunk.
Yes.
So like it's this whole thing. And then I did roll Scene Kid, so I definitely have some very particular interests and hobbies and stuff like that. And I think I really offset all the like I think there's even like gray elephant shoes or something. Like there's a lot of like gray elements to it. So everything else I wear underneath it of my own accord is like pastel or something like it's like a bright offset to like the grays I have to wear. And my hair under my hat is probably also like a bright green or something like this. My pronouns are she, they. My style, like I said, is somewhat eccentric, but then I just roll with my work clothes and I wear it like all the time. No matter, I don't take it off. I walk around with these big stompy elephant feet and my elephant trunk tie, and what I want to do today, I want to do a crime, apparently.
Yes! Yes!
So, I am excited. That's what I rolled. I was so happy. I was like, yes!
There.
The best prompt.
So, yeah, be elephant, do crimes. Thank you, DJ.
Yep.
Yeah, Val, your best elephant gal, signing in right here. Are you ready?
Sure. Okay, I'll follow that.
Yeah.
with yeah, it's not going to be an elephant doing crimes. All right, so I am going to be Steve, although he is always happy when anyone is giving him some sort of nickname. So if they're calling him Steve-O or Steve Marino, or that always makes him happier. Him. He is a rich kid. He's a prep. He's a rich kid, right? And to the point where he doesn't have to be working, but he's got a job at the music store, right?
Yeah.
Because his parents need him to work, but he doesn't need to. His big want is to fit in. He'll tell everybody it's just to slack off and not do anything, but really underneath all that, it's to fit in. And he's that, kind of longer, shaggy blonde hair that is not too long because that wouldn't still be prep, but he's not, he's let it go a little longer than he should have. He's always trying to dress a little like, oh, I want to look, cool and better than I am. And so, but all his stuff is mall media and movies and things. So he's like still trying to rock like blazers, pushing the sleeves up. He is absolutely not the popular kid, but desperately wants to be that kid.
Oh.
So that's who Steve-O is.
So I have made Julia. She is a jock. She is like a tall, really like lanky beanpole basketball girl. Her pronouns are she, her. And she works at the game store because when she went to go, like, people told her about like, yeah, we've got like, there's a couple of stores at the mall you can come work at. She applied thinking it was like sports. And she works at the game store and she doesn't really know what she's doing, but she's like having fun kind of learning about stuff. She thinks the dice are pretty, but and her goal today, I think it's her last shift of the week, and I think her goal, she just wants to go home. Her goal is to slack off. She doesn't want to do any work today.
Nice.
Sorry, it was Julia?
Yes.
All right. So my kid's name is Kai Metz. He, him. He is a new kid. So I think he's new to the school. Depending on if all of these kids go to the same school. He works at the movie theater. Probably just like a rotating like usher, cleaning out the theaters type of thing. Probably desperately aspiring to work like concessions or front box office. That's like the big promotion he's looking for. He has messy, kind of dirty blonde hair, hazel eyes, short and awkward, clumsy. He's wearing last season's clothes. His haircut makes him look younger than he is. He's wearing a hand-me-down backpack. He's pretty shy because he's a new kid. I think his like work uniform is, like the slacks and polo they make you buy. And I think like the sizing's not great, so he's kind of swimming in it a little bit, which just again makes him look younger than he is. And what does he want? He wants to share a secret today. So,
share a secret?
Yeah, which is kind of like a sub goal is like make a friend, like find somebody to share this secret with.
That's cute.
Relationships is, again, it's a freeform thing. If we want to like really spread it out, we could make it so that we go around the circle. So like Jess can have a relationship with Jan can have one with Kaitlin, me, Jess. Perfect. That way everybody, all the characters have one relationship that's kind of unique to them. Unless there's like somebody has like a very good idea or a very important idea for their character to have a relationship with another character, then I would say do that. Precedence to good ideas.
I like it. And go around. Okay, so I have a relationship with Steve. I'm gonna say, like, Steve, have you been here a long time? You said you have like a rich family and stuff like that. I'm gonna say we've been friends for a while. Like we've been friends for like quite a while. Like when we like weren't, you before you're a teen, you're not necessarily as like strongly one theme.
Yeah.
And then when you hit teen, you're like, I am this one thing. Like, so I became the scene kid, and you became like the rich jock and stuff like that, or the prep. Sorry, prep. I did write it down. So I'm gonna say we've been friends for a long time, and even though we're like kind of different, I'm gonna say we kind of still get along. But I think the one like interesting like trait I want to say is that I loaned you like a very unusual movie a while back, and you haven't given it back to me yet, and I don't know if like I don't want to outright say it, so I'm just like, seen any good movies all the time. I'm just like dropping hints, waiting to see if you'll give me my movie back, but I don't know if you just genuinely misplaced it, or if you're keeping it, or if you've just forgotten, or like, and I'm just like, dang it, Steve. Like...
Yeah, we can work with that. All right. So, Julia.
Yes.
You're a jock.
Mm-hmm.
What do you play?
Basketball.
All right. What can I do with basketball?
She's very cheerful. She's super laid back, but she's just very cheerful. She's always just kind of like happy to be here, even when she's always kind of like on the up, like glass half full side of everything. So I feel they're both pretty cheerful. That could be kind of from what I guess understood. She probably calls him Steve-O, like.
Yeah. All right. Wow, I got nothing. Yeah, I'm going to say that personality works perfect for Steve, because he, in that kind of whole wanting to fit in, is absolutely going to gravitate towards somebody who
He's just like, yeah.
who's super positive like that. I'm going to say that in this mall, the music store and the game store are right next to each other. And Steve's going to have spent a lot of time putting up like the, hey, I'm changing the music, be back in 5 minutes sign, and just hanging next door at the game store and doing a lot of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So already kind of like some of that, hanging out at work, not working.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Does Steve play games, like tabletop games and stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe he's teaching Julia a little bit, because she's so out of her depth. She doesn't know anything about any of this.
Sweet. So yeah, he's also right, which is giving him that whole vibe, like, oh, cool, like I know something here, so there's a place for me here, kind of thing. Yeah. So he's definitely trying to be all super helpful that way. Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah, that's really good.
Ugh,
Someone in chat said the fact that it's the jock and the prep means they're like the top of the social ladder crew, but like, they both seem fairly kind-hearted from like what you're saying, like, oh, just want to make friends, just want to
we're
like
the bottom of the top half of the social ladder. Absolutely.
That's where we're like comfortably like, yeah, like
yes.
We can be buds, we can hang, like it's good.
Yes,
absolutely.
I love it. That's so good. And
that's amazing.
Yeah,
how did Julia,
of the top. I like that.
Yeah. How did Julia get so Julia just like got this gig at the game store, like wasn't already like a huge game person, but like got this gig and then like.
So I think what happened, I think she was looking through like directories, like she knew people who were working at the mall. So she's like, yeah, I want to work at the mall. And she's like looking through directories, and there was a game store. She's like, I know things about games, and but not in her mind that type of game. So she ended up calling in for like an application. They're like, yeah, we need work. And she comes up, like shows up, and is not what she was expecting, but also she wasn't going to be like, oh, never mind. So she's like, I guess I'll go with it. Mm-hmm. Let's try something new. So I think that's where she's at.
I like it. Perfect.
Matthew, we got you back?
Yes.
Can you hear us now? Okay, good. I think maybe Kai moved in next door to Julia. So like, he's like, you said he's a brand new kid.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think maybe we probably all go to the same school. I mean, if we're teens, we maybe can't go that far for work, so I would assume maybe we're all kind of in the town mall.
Right.
So I feel like maybe you moved in next door, and so Julia's like, "Hey, new kid," like all the time. Hey, new kid.
I like it.
I don't know how Kai feels about her being like, "Hey," but I think she's being like friendly to the new kid who lives next door, and got like excited that your work. Maybe she told you about the mall. You're like new in town or something like that. She's like, yeah, everyone I know works at the mall. Check it out. I'm sure there's something there for you.
Yeah, this is probably like first job type of thing also. But yeah, no, I like it. I think he's probably like very overwhelmed with Julia's demeanor, but like but he's not gonna like, you know, kind of scoff at that. Like, you gotta have a friend, you can't have no friend. So I think he's fine with it. Okay, neighbor. All right. So instead of thinking about mine, I was fighting with my camera. So let's see. So still anyone with Val. I think my immediate thought is just like one of like Kai has like a fascination of Val just because they are so
weird,
like different. Yeah, just like so unique. And I think a lot of it is just like legitimate like study almost. Like, is this like what is this? Is this weird? Is this normal? Is this how people do things? Like, what is? And I think like that's kind of the general vibe with Kai, is like just trying to like figure stuff out quietly, like kind of sit in the background and like figure out how, like, you know, what are Julia and Steve like? Are they like, what's their like relationship, and where do they sit, and like where am I in relation to them? Streams. But I think like Val is this kind of just this like really unique person that he sees at the mall, and probably has this kind of like you know, weird fascination with.
Yeah, they're definitely like, they're the anomaly. They're the like.
All right. So I wrote down everyone. Really fast, what was Steve's relationship to Julia? It's just they like.
They're the bottom of the top of the ladder. We decided.
They're like the B string popular kids.
Yeah, we're the B squad. Yeah. And our stores are right next to each other, and Steve like knows things about games, and Julia's just like along for the ride, so he'll like come over and like I'm sure she gets him like employee discounts, because she doesn't need to buy any of this. She maybe eventually will end up, but he kind of gives her like quick tutorials on like what am I looking at right now?
Right. Love it.
So
all right,
mall time?
So mall time, yes. So we kind of create the mall in the scenario all at once. Again, this is setting the scene for what we're doing today, contextualizes the action. There is going to be like there's going to be something happening at the mall today, and it doesn't have to be something that we focus on or directly interact with necessarily. It could just be backdrop. It could just be something that like comes in every once in a while to you know, color and contextualize everything. And then there's going to be like an antagonist, like who is kind of the driving force behind that action. And again, we don't have to see them or interact with them if we don't want. So
no other way. I gotta point that way. There we go.
Yes.
It's reversed.
You gotta check on camera which way you're going.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Just really quick,
I go down. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say thanks. I love that. Yeah. I made it really difficult because I put us all on angles. So like, really...
I got him right here.
No, I gotta go. Like... I gotta go over here. I think. Where is he? There he is. Come in, little more. There he is. That's the guy. That guy right there. So again, like we can roll on these tables, we can pick off these tables, we can invent a completely different mall. And we definitely had jokingly talked about the only open air mall in snowy northern Canada.
Yeah.
If we want, we can totally do that. Otherwise, we can make it more of a kind of a traditional classic indoor mall. That might help facilitate being together more often.
That's true.
I think being separated by an outdoors full of snow could be interesting. But maybe for the context of this stream and getting all of our characters together, we want to make sure that they have a little bit more opportunity to be with one another.
Yeah, I kind of
it could be.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it could be useful to be like, yeah, this is like a small local mall, just because like we all kind of know each other.
Yeah,
it might be useful, but I'm totally down to go off the rails.
Yeah. I almost like the idea of, like you said, sort of like a smallish one. Maybe it's like literally just kind of like a square or a circle and just on the outskirts, and then like maybe in the center is the jungle gym. So like you can almost see it, like, or maybe it's half jungle gym, half food court or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like that sort of like thing. And so everyone is like not too far from everyone. Like everyone can always kind of check in with everyone.
Right.
Yeah. We've got like our, like the spot, like the, everybody centralizes during breaks kind of a spot.
Yeah. I like it. Okay, so that's our
Is it only one level?
That's a good question. Is it one level or two levels? I was I'm once again, I'm biased. I keep thinking of my like malls, and I'm thinking of like two around a central open center is what I'm imagining. But like,
and we
is it that small? Is it really just one tiny little?
We already established pre-stream that the mall when I think of malls is the Mall of America. So like we've got the entire spectrum of malls here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of my malls were like urban downtown malls, so they were like 5 stories straight up, but then they didn't have a lot of like horizontal surface area.
Oh, interesting.
And then like, I think like the 2nd through 5th floor had like a hole in the middle, so you could like look down into the mall.
Oh yeah.
So we can totally do that. I think we should have a second story.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to have like this relatively compact, smaller mall, but then it like goes up a little bit.
I like that Phoenix says 2 levels because there has to be some escalator hijinks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love that idea that there's like escalators. Maybe there's like one elevator and like someone's always obnoxiously using it when other people actually want to use it.
Right.
That's inaccessible.
It's one of those like glass elevators that everybody can see everybody who's stuck in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I like it. Yeah. Okay. So that's our mall. So now we have what's going on. So again, this is like the driving action of the day. And again, it's not something we have to like commit to doing, but it's something that will happen like by the end of the day. Whatever we say that the action is, like it will come to resolution or fruition by the end of the session, whether we engage with it or not. So the examples in the book are: the mall is closing, a new store is just opening, there's a new hire, it's Black Friday, there's a secret shopper, or there's a string of thefts. So again, like these are things that we can engage with if we want, or make something up.
When you first started saying, hey, something's happening at the mall, my first thought was that it was some sort of like crazy theme day, or like there was a thing happening. And like just speaking from yon experience, when I was in high school, I worked as a fashion model in those kind of mall fashion shows.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Is there a mall fashion show happening today?
You know that then all the clothing stores have models like doing a runway thing at a certain time in the open air space.
Oh my God.
That's fun.
That's
it's like so there's like chairs set up like along like the central like.
Well, then throughout the day, the event it's getting like probably set up in the morning because it's going to happen in the afternoon or like at drive time. You know, like.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. I think there's a mall fashion show, and that's what's happening. And I don't know. Maybe we'll see which of our teens might want to be a part of that.
My misspent youth comes back.
Oh my god, I love it.
So, and then the next one is who's messing stuff up. So in this case, this could just be like
It's us.
who's in charge of the fashion show. So like maybe there's like an outside company who's brought in to like handle casting and everything.
Ooh.
Or there legitimately is somebody ancillary to the fashion show who's trying to mess up the fashion show, which we all want
that's
to
also
happen.
Good.
So you can kind of take it in a variety of different ways.
What if it's something like this fashion show is like a yearly thing and like everyone gets like really excited for it in this like small town mall, and like going off of the mall management, maybe there's like new management in the mall and they like want to change it from like what it's supposed to be, and so we're like, no,
you
man,
can't
like
change the fashion show.
Yeah, you can't change the fashion show.
We look forward to this every year.
Or they're
I
like
put on
trying
my
to like
best
cut it,
elephant ears today.
like maybe they're trying to like make it smaller, or it's supposed to be like a local thing, and they're like trying to bring in. I don't know how we want to play it, but
yeah. No, I like it. I think there's new mall management, and they are trying to, maybe it's like some hip new company, and they're trying to modernize or update it, and we just want to have our like rinky dink little fashion show. And they want it to
our
be
town, our fashion show.
I mean, maybe that's the thing is like instead of casting like local teens to be the models, they want to like bring in a bunch of like hired models from the big city. So there's contention between the local teens and this pack of upscale
outsiders.
city teens. Yeah.
Oh man, those city kids! No. Oh my god.
Those city teens are taking our modeling gigs.
I love the idea that like we've already taken this back like a decade or so, and then I like the idea that our fashion show in that timeline is even like it almost is like evocative of like an older time even to that. You know what I
because
mean?
it's been the same. It's always the same.
It's been the same for so long, and we don't want them to modernize it. They're like, we're gonna bring in all this new stuff, and we're like, no.
The charm of it is that it's old. Like it's
right. It's an 80s fashion show in the 90s.
We like that it's weird. Like we like that it doesn't make sense. It's like I don't know if this is I don't know if this is a common experience for other people, but like when there's like an old Taco Bell, like when they've got like the old like 90s setup and then they renovate it, you're like, this is less fun. Like
right, yeah, you want it to be the old. They're doing that to all the Wendy's around my area. They're making them all these like weird like geometric modern Wendy's, and I'm like, I remember the Wendy's with the weird tile in the buffet out front. Like that's how
So it's so much more charming when it's like when it's older, like it looks older and it stands out. It's fun. It's unique. And now they're trying to make it like everything else, and we don't want that.
Yeah. Geek Outs in chat says this sounds like a mall where they don't like chain stores. I think that's
mom and pop mall.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the vibe. Is I think there's like a couple of like big box stores in the mall, but like the game store isn't like a GameStop or it's like a mom and pop. And I think the music store is not like an FYE. It's whatever.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and that works out perfectly because it's not our individual bosses; it's this new mall management, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we have our mall then. So, and again, we don't have to engage with the city teens. We don't have to engage with new mall management. We do not have to engage with the fashion show. It sounds like we're going to, but
it's just happening.
It makes for a lot of good stuff in the background at the very least. Yes.
So yes, that's the other thing is like the thing, like the one certainty about the way I wrote this game is that this is happening. Today there will be contention between local teens who want to model versus these new city teens. There will be some kind of weird casting call. There will be actual fashion shows happening. There will be a crowd of people watching the fashion show happen. All of these things will be happening throughout the day, whether we engage with them or not. So this might just be like something the camera sees as we have a conversation on the second floor balcony in the background. But it will happen regardless of what we do today.
Yes.
So, all right. So that's the scenario. So let's talk about how we play the game. The game plays a little bit differently than your kind of traditional tabletop role-playing game. I like to call it a storytelling game intentionally because we do not have to role play. If you want to be your character and speak in first person, by all means. But I like having the option of just saying, like, narrating what happens and talking about things in terms of like framing camera shots. So you can just talk about like, what would the, TV miniseries or movie version of this look like? And then there's going to be 6 beats of the day: opening, morning, lunch, evening, closing, and after hours. And during each of those beats, each of us will take a turn framing a scene between one or more characters. And we get to kind of, when it's your turn, you get to decide what is the scene you want. Typically, it'll be between your character and one or more other characters, but strictly speaking, your character does not have to be in your scene if it makes, if you're more interested in exploring something else. We'll also introduce like non-player characters throughout the story. You can have scenes with them. And because there is no GM, just like somebody else who's not in the scene, like if Val and Julia wanted to have a scene with one of the city teens, Jan or I could play the city teen. So, or narrate the city teen. Again, it's all kind of just narrative based. So, and then there's kind of a list of examples of what you should be doing during each beat, which we'll read just like when the beat comes up. And if you want to, on page 6 of the PDF, there are a couple more random tables. If you just literally want to roll a die and see what happens during your scene, you can totally do that. And then in terms of ownership, when it is your turn to do your scene, you have final say. You get to say when it starts, when it ends, how it goes, who's there. You can take suggestions from everybody else. Everybody should feel encouraged to offer those suggestions if it feels like they are desired, but ultimately whoever's scene it is gets to decide how that scene plays out. And then mechanics. So there's one mechanic in the game, and it is rolling dice to determine success of things. Because this is based on Honey Heist, there are 2 stats here. In this game, the 2 stats are corporate and cred. Both of your stats start at 3. When you want to do something that involves doing good work, impressing a customer, dealing with management, or following the rules, you'll be using your corporate stat. And when you want to fit in with other employees, do something sneaky, abuse your power, or break the rules, you'll be using your cred. When you want to do something where the outcome is not guaranteed or there might be risk involved, you will roll a die. So you pick up a d6 and you will roll this against whichever stat most closely applies to the thing you're doing, and you're trying to roll under. If you roll under the stat, then you do exactly what you wanted to. You get what you want. Nothing bad happens. If it equals your stat, then you still get what you want, but there's a complication. So either you might have to compromise, you might have to be open to some negative consequences to get what you want, make some hard choices. If it's greater than the stat, you fail. You describe how things go wrong, and if you roll a 6, things are much, much worse.
Critical failure.
Yes. If you're doing, so you get 1 die for when you want to do something. If you're doing something that relates to your background, which is literally anything you have written on your character sheet, you get a 2nd die. And if someone else is helping you, one of the other 3 player characters, you get a 3rd die. The max dice you can roll is 3, but multiple people can help you, or you can use multiple aspects of your background as it makes narrative sense. If multiple people help you, all of those people, anybody who helps you is open to any negative consequences of your role. So that could be the meeting your stat or exceeding the stat. Whatever bad things happen, whoever helps you out is open to those as well. And when you do help somebody else, you kind of do a quick description of how that works. How is your teen in a unique position to offer their skills and talents to help out that person? And then there's modifying. So when you succeed on one of these rolls, you will ask yourself 2 questions to see if you modify your stats. If you succeed by perfectly executing a plan or following the rules, move 1 point from cred to corporate. So that would be cred goes down to 2, corporate goes up to 4, or similar. Or when you find success in chaos or impulsiveness, or by breaking the rules, move a point from corporate to cred. You can also, once per beat, voluntarily move a point from one stat to the other by framing a scene. So you can voluntarily move a stat from cred to corporate by taking on more responsibilities or publicly agreeing with somebody in power. You describe how you do this and how it negatively affects your reputation with other employees. You can move a point from corporate to cred by publicly blowing off your responsibilities or calling out somebody in power. Describe how you do this and how does this negatively impact your job. If at any time one of your stats reaches 6, you have maxed out. If you max out your corporate, you sell out and buy into what the man is selling. If your cred reaches 6, you give everyone the middle finger and walk out. Whatever the case may be, you are no longer working with the group. You may leave the mall. You may be actively working against the group. You become a chaotic and unpredictable force in the mall. And then the game ends after we've completed all the beats. It can end if too many people have maxed out and left the game. It can end pretty much anytime we think that there's a narratively interesting place to end, or we reach our time limit, which we have about 2 hours left at this point. So again, it's more freeform in that way. So that's that. Questions from players, questions from chat on anything?
Yeah, y'all feel free to ask questions if you got anything. Talking to you, chat.
DJ Phoenix wants to know if the gaming shop can be named Critical Role Games. I don't know. Do we want to deal with that those legal implications? I don't know. It's not in the book. That's all I'll say. It's not my fault.
That's not on me.
Oh, interesting. Here's a twist. Darkest Argentum. What if Kai's dad is the new mall manager?
That's an interesting topic because you're the new kid and
right.
This management and maybe we knew there was new management, but this is the first time we're seeing the ramifications of it. Right.
No, I like that too, and I like that Kai is going to be completely oblivious to why that's a bad thing. He doesn't have any context of this historic annual thing that is being ruined immediately.
Oh my god, I love that. That's such an interesting. I didn't think of that. That you don't have the love for it that we have.
Yeah, I have no context.
Us three have and a lot of people at this mall and a lot of people in this town are this is such a special event, and you're what? It's a dumb fashion show.
Yep, I like it. That's a thing. Thank you, Darkest Argentum.
Sorry, I missed it. Where does Kai work again? He's the only one I don't
works
have
at a movie theater.
The movie theater, thank you.
Yeah, so he's doing just the he might be doing the ushering, he'll walk into a movie theater with a flashlight to make sure everything's above board, or he'll be the one to clean out movie theaters after a showing. He's lowest totem pole, right? So he's he would very much like to be front box office, right? That's what he views to be the prestigious position that he desperately wants. But yes, this is intro level movie theater gig. So
I like it. Okay.
I think he's in a position to get people into movies for free, but doesn't is kind of too naive to weaponize that at this point.
That's interesting. I like it. Okay.
Gemini Lightning says that one of the city teens is a rival school's basketball star.
Double the reason to be upset at them.
I like it.
You stay out of my mall.
Stay out of my mall and stay out of my fashion show. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. So we'll start with the opening beat. Mm-hmm. The opening beat is framed around defining group goals, talk about what's happening at the mall today, or making promises. But again, these are all just kind of loose guidelines. Narratively interesting scenes are always more important. And other than that, I think we're ready to start mall-teening it up.
I mean, I'm ready to go if everyone is cool.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna say that Val actually, because this is opening, so this is the mall isn't necessarily open yet.
Yeah,
right?
I like to think this is right in the 30 minutes before the mall opens when we all have to be there.
Yeah. So yeah, I imagine Val actually gets to their gig pretty early because they secretly like it, but they don't.
Nice.
They won't admit it. It's a weird, quirky gig, and they like it. So they like all they have to do when they get there is double check that like no one has left, junk lying out and stuff like that. None of the kids have like left their shoes in the tubes or anything like that. So they like walk right past the jungle gyms and look at where the stage is being set up, and they like narrow their eyes. And then they walk over to in between where the game and the record store is, and I imagine either Steve or Julia might be there. Like, I imagine at least one of them has one of those, like, push-up bar things.
Yeah, working on
Yes.
the security walls. And Val definitely comes over and leans against something. I don't know what, but Val's one of those people that, like, leans against something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, hey, did you see what's happening over there at the stage? They don't have the usual, like, great neon lights and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of like go down the hallway to kind of look at it. Like, maybe they're gonna bring them out later, I guess.
No, but there's a whole bunch there's a whole bunch of new stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Like, they have, like, proper spotlights and things.
I think we're gonna have to check it out. I think we're gonna have to scope this out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm right by it, so I'll, like, let you know if I see anything else weird. Right, I was just,
Okay.
I was excited for those neon lights.
They're the best part, obviously.
They make everyone look so sickly and pink. It's great.
I was
Very true.
when we talked about 80s fashion show in the 90s, I imagine there's generally two huge like potted ferns on either side of the stage too, and the ferns aren't there.
Yeah.
Not the
like,
ferns.
No. I like tug on my elephant ear and like just like, is Steve there yet? Is Steve like walking in?
So I'm imagining you guys started that, and now Steve is coming in.
Yeah, you walk up as we're kind of talking.
And he's like, what's going on? I couldn't even park my car in my regular spot. Like, there's all these trucks outside.
It's the fashion show, Steve-O. Come on, get with it.
Well, yeah, but they never needed to. There's like 3 extra trucks.
Yeah, I mean, usually they have everything here that they need already. They just bring out the stuff from the basement, like.
Yeah, we're kind of eyeballing it from far away, but I think we're gonna need to get up in this business at some point.
I don't know. Yeah, things are. That doesn't look like last year's setup.
No.
Remember when Tanya and Brett were on there last year? Like, we couldn't see because the ferns were in the way.
I know, there's no ferns. I don't know why they don't have the ferns out. That's usually the first thing that goes up. And they usually are the
And I
last
don't
thing
know
that comes down.
when was the last time they moved those ferns? Like, you don't move. That's in the mall. Like, none of that moves.
Yeah, I
It's
thought
not
it
on
was
wheels.
I thought it was permanently there. Like, I thought it was attached to the like I thought they maybe
Like a
potted
fixture.
straight down.
The roots of them all.
Roots of the plant.
Yeah.
It's into the foundation.
Yeah.
The foundation of them all is these ferns. Yeah, we definitely have to scope that out today.
Yeah. I don't like it. All right. I'll see you later. And I turn
All right, I'm
around
gonna finish
and
putting the.
I turn around and I have
Great
an
up.
elephant tail in my pants.
Yep. You
like-
walk away. Like,
I walk away
Which
and there's it's part
We
of the
all
whole
expect to see.
Yeah, you've seen it before. It's part of the
We
it's part
know,
of the
we
Jungle
know.
Gym's uniform.
It's an ominous beginning to the morning. I'm gonna have to come up with a good soundtrack for the store today.
yeah, we gotta get us in the. We gotta get us in the mood to learn some things, scope some stuff out.
Yeah.
What is Kai doing this morning?
I think that I think the movie theater is probably got like 2 like entrances. It's like we have this 2-story mall, so I think like the movie theater is also 2 stories tall, just so they can like cram more screens into a smaller space by going up. So I think like he doesn't probably have any like opening like responsibilities. So I'm not actually in the movie theater at this point, but I get there crazy early because I got nothing else to do. So I'm probably hanging out on like the second story balcony, and I'm just kind of like surveying, just like taking it all in. And I think I see this little group of people get together. These 3 teens get together at their stores and are talking, and it's like the weird elephant girl with the friends. And I think it's just like I think it's probably just like a camera shot of just like, excited talking and hand gestures and laughing, but you can't hear any of it. It's just. It's just what that is.
And they all have an agreement and then turn and leave at the same time.
Yeah, they all look really like sure of something. And then,
right.
like...
Yeah, exactly. I think, it's obvious that like there's some kind of bond here. And I think it's just a kind of a moment of like, oh, they look cool. Maybe they could be my friends. And then
I think as you're kind of like up there, as everyone kind of turns away, I kind of get I think the grate gets like stuck a couple times because it's normal. I get it up and I'm like, all right, nice. And then I kind of look up and I'm like, hey, new kid. And shout very loudly down this, like everyone.
Everybody
hey, new kid.
Yeah, I think like,
and I'll like go.
Right. I think the immediate impression, like he turns around looking for somebody and like, it's obvious you're talking to him, but he still isn't like used to people talking to him. It's like, wait, and then I think it's like a little awkward wave type of thing.
Yeah.
And then I don't like, he can't communicate at that distance. There's no way he could possibly be that loud. So I think he just does like an awkward wave and then he kind of like just walks away.
Leaves.
He just goes to work. Yeah.
She's like, bye, new kid. And then she goes into work, goes into the shop.
All right. Are we officially opened? Is the mall open? Anything? So if anybody, I know there's not like, we haven't done a lot with stats or anything yet, but if you want to have a scene about adjusting your stat, you can totally do that at this point. Or at the end of beats are a good time to like ask questions about what's going on and clarify stuff. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we can roll into the morning.
That went kind of how I wanted, because I was kind of assuming Julia would interact with Kai. I was like waiting to see that like happen, so I was pleased with that. Like otherwise, because I'm just I have questions, but I kind of want to see them play out. So I'm like, maybe I won't ask. Maybe I'll.
All right.
Because I'm excited to see Kai's take on all of this, because we're all on team.
We know what's up.
Yeah, like we're all on team original fashion show.
Right. No, I think this.
We're on team hometown mall.
Yeah. I think this show is definitely from the perspective of Kai. I think like the opening.
I like that.
The opening scene is like him getting dropped off like at the mall by his mom in their car, and it's like seeing the town like go by the cars and he gets dropped off at this mall and goes in. So I think that's
it's very appropriate that it sort of be from the aspect of someone with new eyes, because anyone coming into this would be coming in with new
eyes. Yep.
I am a writer. We're good at this. Unfortunately, there's not like a overly pretentious way to say writer like there is artiste.
I'm an artiste.
Yeah, somebody come up. Somebody come up with a really self-important. Yeah, somebody tell me a very good pretentious word for writer, and that's what I'll call myself from now on.
Auteur.
Yeah.
I'm like the auteur.
Right. I guess it is author, right? Like that's what that is. All right, so that's the there you go. I got it.
Blizzard Star and me are on the same page. I feel it.
Nailed it. Okay, so that's opening. Everybody opens puts the grates up, locks the doors in the open position. Everything's ready to roll, and the big mall doors are opened by security guards, and everybody floods in, and it is now morning, where we get to work, learn something new, and create a plan. And we can keep going in the same order, or we can, start with Jess started that turn, so we can have Jan start this turn, etc. There's, lots of.
I think if anyone has, like a
thing they want to do,
jarring idea, they're like,
I knew that's how I wanted to start. So, I was happy to throw that out there. But if anyone else has something, because
I mean, I can go and start because I think like the early morning, like because the movie theater is attached to a mall, it technically opens, but I don't know how many people are going to see a movie at like probably 9 a.m. in the morning or whatever this is. So I bet we're like really, really slow. Or again, maybe I'm just like crazy early and my shift doesn't even start.
Yeah, you're just kind of there,
right?
Hanging out.
Or that's the confusion. Like I looked up the mall opening time and that's when I got here, but the movie theater doesn't open until like lunch. So
yeah. You said one of your, like we were saying, maybe one of your parents or both of your parents are new management of the mall. So did you come in with them?
Oh, you came in with them.
Oh yeah, I rode to work with. That's exactly why I'm here early. Is I rode to work with Dad because he has to get here early.
Yeah.
So I've probably been here for like an hour or more before the mall even opened, just like pounding around. And like my shift doesn't even like the movie theater might not even be open at this point. So like I'm just like hanging out. I
have a question actually. Since this kind of came up, we're discussing this. And your parents are like the new management of the mall and stuff like that. Have you always been a mall kid? Did your dad previously like run a different mall? And like, are you learning the new lay of the land? Do you have like that inherent like, you know how like someone born into the circus like knows the circus life? Like,
no, I do. Born into the mall.
You're born into the mall.
I actually like that. Yeah, I think my dad is like he's
a mall connoisseur.
He's a mall. Yeah, my dad is a mall manager by trade, which I actually kind of like the contrast of Kai being really socially kind of awkward and inept, but also like fundamentally understands every part of a mall. Like, so he's just like, I know where all of the access doors are. I know where all the hallways go. I know like how to get from point A to point B in the absolute shortest, fastest amount of time. So yes, I think it is absolutely just like he is born into the mall.
Maybe Kai's dad is like, he's someone who comes in, he's like a fixer-upper kind of a thing. Like he comes into like older establishments and like modernize them and then can like sell them for more or something. So he like owns it for a short amount of time, like revamps everything over the course of a few years and then like runs to another location.
He's objectively the antagonist of our story, but also my dad. Like, he is just the bad guy in this story. He's at least the bad guy of season 1 of this show for sure. And because we're only on one session, I'm hoping there's going to be like a point during the day where everyone's just like, wait, what's your last name? And we're gonna we're gonna have it's gonna come to light. Luckily, because you keep calling me new kid, I think we're gonna ride that out for a little while at least. Until somebody actually hears my last name.
Ooh, perfect.
So,
yes.
That's a beat that I'm putting in my back pocket. Is at some point someone's going to find out. Like that's going to be a thing.
We know Mr. Metz, the new mall manager. I love the alliteration. It's great.
Yes.
But so we only know new kid.
So I think Kai at this stage is. Again, like comfortable enough being in the mall that he's okay to like float around and just like exist, and he knows how to just be in a mall without looking out of place. And I think eventually kind of works his way, around the balcony and down the escalator and over to the stores where he saw, Julia and Steve and Val. And probably like chooses the game store to go in. I don't know if he's like, we're saying this is like, is this tabletop gaming? Is this video gaming? Is this just like what is like this store?
So I guess I did say dice before.
It could be a bunch of things.
It could be both, yeah.
My experience at malls is it's usually kind of all of those things.
Especially. Yeah, I think we're on the same page.
Yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say just because it is like a mom and pop, it's not like a specialized. Like it could just be like, we've got the game stock. Like,
yeah. And because this is like, it's not a huge town. It's probably not the smallest town, but it's not the biggest town. And this is like the game store at the mall for the town. So it has to have some of everything. Because, when parents like don't know what their kids like, they just know their kids like games. They just walk into the game store. And they're like, give me some of your games, please.
Yes. Like your finest
game.
Yes.
One game. I will give you one money for one games, please.
For context, I worked at GameStop. I managed a GameStop for years. This is not off brand. Like this is exactly what happens if you've ever worked in a game store.
My grandson likes the video games. Which one should I get? Which one of these hundreds of games?
Do you see the walls covered in games?
Yes, he's played the first one. Do you have the second? You're gonna have to be more specific.
So I think Kai wanders in. And I think it's kind of a nonchalant, like pretending to like look at games and stuff, but is really just trying to like put himself
on
passively
radar.
in a position to be near other people.
I think because it's early, there's like no one here yet. So Julia's like at the front counter, not like probably should be like making sure everything is like good, but she's got like a D20 and she's like trying to see how long she can get it to spin on the glass countertop. She's like, and it like flies off. She's like, am I allowed to swear in this stream? I don't even know. Okay.
That's fine by me. I do always have it titled adult in case people like swear or anything like that. So there's a mild warning. So you're good.
I play the kid who's not gonna possibly. It doesn't make any sense to swear. That's not fun. We'll
and she's like spinning, like kind of runs off the table. She's like sitting there with like one of them trying to see how long she can get to spin, and that's what you walk into, I think.
Yeah. And I think the play was like to try and just get noticed, and it's not working. So I think he's just like yeah. So I think it's like a wander up to the counter type of thing, and just like again like being near.
Just kind of like there.
Yeah, and like I think he probably like takes a D20 and spins it, and immediately like
it goes better. It's way better than hers.
I was gonna say the dice like literally just collide and ricochet off like into.
I like that too.
Just like yeah, I wrote down clumsy, so this is for leaning into this. So I think it's immediately just like the dice shoot off into completely separate corners.
Yeah, she's like, oh, nice distance, new kid. How's it going? Do you want a game? Have a couple of them. A couple games.
So yeah, I think he's like, see, I don't want him to be like a D&D nerd because that's like really like that's really tropey at this point how I've set him up. So I think like no, I think he it is a matter of like you can't like game a lot if you don't have the friends to game. So I think it's like I think he's just kind of like looking at the dice and type of thing. And I think he says something like he's like, yeah, I play games. Sure. I like playing games, you know, Monopoly and the other one.
We probably have that one. There's a lot of games here. I probably have that one.
Yeah. And I think that's like, yeah, like he just like, I think he's just gonna like, yeah, he's just gonna follow Julie around the store as long as
she's gonna like point out the games that she like knows. She's like, yeah, okay, we do have Sorry and Monopoly.
Yeah,
these ones have like some fun names.
Yeah,
and like this one has like dragons in it.
And yeah, I think he just stays there. He stays there as long as that's going on, and probably like long after. When
she'll talk. I think Julia can just like talk.
I think that's why this relationship works. Is just like he's just gonna sit there and listen as long as it's gonna happen. So that's going on in the game store. Maybe
this is how Kai finds out a little bit about like the tension with the fashion show. Because maybe Jules like, oh my God. And did you see? Oh, you wouldn't know. They removed the ferns. There's like, that doesn't make any sense out of context, but they took the ferns away and we're like really upset about it. But there's this show that's happening. Oh man, it's gonna be weird. You'll have to hear from everyone else. But you'll see people are gonna be upset about this. Like she's just gonna like ramble, and it's non sequitur. Like the way she's explaining it, like eventually will make sense that like there's a fashion show. People don't like that it's being changed.
Yeah, I think we picked out fashion show. People are upset about fashion show. Something about ferns.
It'll be like 5-minute roundabout way to get to like this is what she means, and I think you get the picture eventually.
Yep.
But she just like talks at you for as long as you'll be her audience.
No, I think that's exactly. I think that's the scene. I think that's our scene. But I think like the cutout is, and he's still there.
Yeah.
Like, he's just there for a while, an indeterminate amount of time. So I think that's my scene.
Oh man. I dig that.
What's Steve up to?
So I think I am going to frame a scene pretty much right on the end of that one. Because I think while that's happening and while Julia's rambling on to Kai, you're going to see some folks walk by, like in the mall, outside the store. These folks walk by, you know, very well dressed, clipboard, you know, like people and they're carrying a bag from the music store. And pretty much right after they walk by, Steve will slide into the gaming store. And by that I mean like he's trying to look all Rico Suave, but it obviously looks way too, like
it's that horrible screeching sound of like the bottom of your shoes on like
he's
on, like,
totally
tiles.
trying to be cool and it's not coming off. But he rolls in and he'll walk right up and he'll do that whole kind of put his arm around Kai's shoulders and just say, "Hey kid," and just start talking right at Julia.
Yeah. Steve-o, hey.
Hey,
I just freezes,
Yeah.
And Steve doesn't notice that at all, really.
He's
like, "Hey,
Steve, my man, have
did you
we
see
all met? Like, quick, like, has everyone met Kai? Do you think, or is this like your first day, or have you been kind of around?
I mean, we can make it first day if that's interesting.
Because Julia knows you, but I don't know what the
I think this will be the Kai's first day at the mall, but I think we know each other because you said you're my neighbor. So I think you know of me, but I think probably yes. I doubt that Steve and
so I'll be like Steve, my man, this is Kai, new kid, neighbor. We've been chatting. He's a fun conversationalist. What's up? What's up with you?
Those folks that just went by, did you see them? They just came in the store. You know all those old, those disco compilations we got? Like all those thumping beats that nobody
really
buys?
Cool ones. Yeah,
well,
the
but
ones.
they've been in the store. I keep playing them and nobody keeps buying them.
Oh,
they
I like
just
when you play
bought
them. I can hear from over here.
They just bought 6 of them. And as they were leaving the store, I heard them say they're for the soundtrack for the show later. That's never been the theme.
Huh.
It's like whole new people are in charge. I didn't recognize any of them.
Yeah.
In fact, one of them looked like, wait for it, looked like she was wearing her badge had a city high school logo on it. Like they're not even from around here. I don't know. It just seemed odd.
Man, this is the more we learn, the more upside down the scenes. Now we definitely need to go see what's up. We're not in charge of the setup, but I think we need to pretend that we are.
It just sounds like it's going to be really different than it's been in the past.
Mm-hmm. We need some eyes on the inside, not from very far away down the hallway.
Well, yeah, we might have to. We might have to make some time to see what's going on. It doesn't look like a lot's happened yet. They're still rolling in some stuff from outside, but it's concerning to say the least.
I wonder if we can find those ferns. Put them back.
Well, yeah, because where even would they put them? Do we have a storage space for ferns?
I mean, there's the basement. They could when they move stuff around for events, they put it downstairs.
We got a basement?
I think Kai, without even just says it reflexively, he's just sub basement 1 lot A.
Yeah, you would know exactly. Yeah, there we go. I'll kind of clap him on the shoulder. Yeah, now we're talking.
Right, but I think he just did it reflexively. He didn't know it came out loud, so he's surprised that people are responding to it.
Mm-hmm.
Steve will turn to him, and it'll look like Steve is just noticing Kai is there, even though he was introduced
and touching him the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, this might require a field trip.
I think it definitely will.
I like it.
Yes.
All right.
I think I'm gonna be we need to go find Val. I think that's.
I like it.
All right. I think I'm gonna have to go put up the sign in the store, and so Steve will turn and jump back in the music store briefly to end that scene as they're starting to hatch a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Has Val done? Have they done their scene? This one yet?
Not for morning.
Not for morning.
Yeah, we all kind of jumped into the same opening scene.
That's fine.
That's all right.
I think that's a good cut. Though, we need to go find Val, and then we have a smash cut. Yeah. What's Val doing?
So you smash cut, and Val is leaning through some of the jungle gym stuff, and kind of like
That like
staring.
distant mall music, like muted, like, and she's just kind of like.
She's staring at like, you know, them setting up the new thing, and there's like already a few kids, and they're literally like running around behind her, like screaming, like, "Ah!" And she just is not paying attention. Like she's supposed to be watching them, and she's just like, two kids, yeah, literally like bump into each other and fall over, and she's just like back to them, ignoring, like watching,
Just laser focus.
like, yeah, I feel like. You know what? She has a set of binoculars. I was debating
Yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Yeah.
She has a set of binoculars.
Amazing.
And she is fully spying.
What's Julie? We need to find Val. Smash cut. Like,
On it.
Val is on it. And so then, yeah, I don't know if all y'all want to, like, come over to the front of the Jungle Gyms.
Still the best name. Still the best name.
It had to be the name.
Yeah.
The theme is like it's all jungle themed. It is all like, and I'm your elephant cruise
Perfect.
director for the day.
And the kids are all like Lord of the Flies behind you because
Yes.
obviously their parents just drop them off
Yeah.
and don't stay there.
Yep. Yeah, like I was at the front for a bit and I waved a few people in, and then I just like went to go do my own thing, not paying attention to the kids at all.
Nice.
Yeah. And so I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Do we need a get together scene, or do we just get together in the next beat?
I was gonna say we could either do it now or we could do it for the like lunch or like a little bit before that, or because that's the next scene is like lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, that would work because isn't the food court right kind of behind
Yeah.
Jungle Gyms?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the three of us always have like there's a table we like always sit at because we can like observe them all, and we'll and since Kai's kind of been like around, well, Kai knows things. Kai had an idea whether he likes it or not, and so he's gonna come with us. So Julia's gonna kind of do like
So pretty much the three of us will meet for lunch, and Julia's just bringing Kai.
Kai, yeah. She's probably like I think at some point it's like before the lunch scene. I think it's gonna be like Julie kind of like swings her head into the music shop and is like, Steve-O, lunchtime, let's go, and like and she's got like and is like got like her hands on Kai's shoulders and like leading him to the
Nice.
When she does that, Steve-O's like switching out the posters and just leaves one like half hung and just comes down the stepladder and just leaves the store.
Yeah. I think what makes narrative sense is since I said that Kai generally had to go to work at around lunchtime, I think he's making a voluntary point move from corporate to cred by blowing up his responsibilities.
Yeah.
And I think he is
Nice.
I think he's actively saying that he's not going to work. So
Nice.
right. We got stuff to do. My man.
Right.
Wow.
Come on, new kid.
That's right. So I think that is a really kind of representative of him, like making a conscious choice here to choose his cred in this new possible circle of friends over his work responsibility.
Yeah, I like
which
that.
is a major which is is probably interesting to this group in and of itself, but like the fact that my dad like effectively runs them all makes this even more dangerous.
Point.
That could get back to him like so quick.
Exactly. Like he probably got me the job at the mall, like the theater. So like the theater knows exactly who to call. Like they won't call me when I'm not there. They'll call him.
Call your dad. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just introducing a ticking time bomb.
Yes.
That will
Yes.
almost assuredly come back and bite us. So
I love it.
all right.
Do we want to play out lunch or do you want to take a break here? Because we're at the halfway point. So now
I mean, while we're in between scenes, I guess we could do a quick.
Yeah,
one
I could
out,
take
we
a break.
Come back into some planning.
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna take a break. You should too. Make sure to stretch out, get yourself a drink. Don't forget to hydrate. We will see you back here in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. See you soon. Hi, we're back. We took a break. Hope you did too. And we realized something.
Oops,
we forgot to announce the giveaway. So we're gonna work on that right now. I'm going to set up the giveaway. You're gonna see the bot sort of announce it in chat. Matthew, did you want to show off the stuff?
Sure. So I have...
Show those buttons again.
That's right. So I have the zine copy of the game and a PDF copy of the game. I have a micro expansion for the game. I have Mall Kids stickers, and I have arguably the coolest piece is Mall Kids pins for your backpacks, denim jackets, lanyards, whatever it is you need to put some buttons on.
I would have killed for that rocker pin as a kid. Are you kidding me?
and then yeah, the obviously the game, the stickers and the pins are all Kaitlin's very, very good art. There was, if you caught it earlier, I think I don't know if she said it on stream or not, but there was just like a giant page of doodles that she did for the book at my request, and I was just like, well, I have to use every single one of these. So there's a ton of really cool illustrations in the book, and I wanted to put some on pins. So there it is. That's yep. And I will be shipping that to a winner. I can do free shipping within the US and probably Canada. Other international shipping, we'll probably have to work something out, but as long as it's not super unreasonable, I can get it to pretty much anywhere.
Nice.
So I can see people are already doing it. So all you have to do is put !mall in the chat, and you are entered in for that giveaway. So it is live now. It'll be running for about 15 minutes. So don't delay. Hit !mall today. When did I?
1-800 Mall Kids.
Do I get a point of corporate for that? Do I get it?
I think so. Yeah. No, that goes over the mall speaker and tell everybody to type !mall. No one knows what it means. I like it.
Yeah.
Call
Okay.
1-800 Mall Kids.
Yeah. So enter in that giveaway, and it'll be drawing in about 15 minutes. So you got that long to get it in and win all that cool stuff.
Yep.
So
Also, don't call either of those phone numbers because I don't have the slightest idea what is at them.
I think there are too many.
I mean, you could dial too many numbers. It just
I
uses
mean,
the first 10 or 11 of them. Yeah, I have no idea what it'll go to. I mean, you can if you want to. I'm not
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Not your boss. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying I'm not advising you to go do those things.
Points and cred. No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
why?
So-
I'm the first sellout. No.
We are about to start our lunch beat, which is take a break, vent about work, and progress your goals.
Mhm.
So we have a collective goal, we have a mall action, but we also all have our individual goals. So
Mall heist.
now is a good time to kind of work towards them, kind of lay some groundwork, frame scenes around getting towards your goal, not necessarily finishing them or anything like that, but making steps towards those things. So
Okay.
I think either Kaitlin or Yang can start, since Jess and I have both led a beat so far.
Well, honestly, I think Julia's like already achieving her goal for the day, which is to slack off. So I think just everything that's happened today, she can just like not focus on work. So she's like excited. She probably honestly left like 10 minutes before her shift was supposed to like let her out for lunch. But I think that kind of encompasses her goal. But I think all of them kind of probably around the same time, like all four of us show up and like sit down at our table and are like, so.
Val is like, Julia, Stevedore, you?
This is Kai. Kai's the new kid. He's my neighbor. He's got some intel and he had a really good idea.
Okay.
We can
I'm
get to
listening,
friends.
neighbor. What's up?
I like the image of like Kai sitting next to Val and just being like actively trying not to look.
Val is
So
like,
it's just-
Val is
Yeah.
fully observing
Like-
you right now to see your motives.
Right.
You're,
Yeah. No.
you're new and bad stuff is going on today.
Yeah. I think the overreaction is just like, obviously she can't know that I find her interesting. So the
Yeah.
natural teenage boy reaction to that is to do the exact opposite of that. Because teenage boys are extremely good at dealing with their feelings.
I also love the Julia putting him on the spot, like, yeah, he had a great idea, even though he like didn't suggest anything. He just
there was no idea.
No, there was no idea, but
yeah,
Julia's like, he's really smart. He's a good idea.
I think it probably is just like a restatement of fact. It's just like the ferns are probably in the basement, like with no context, no plan, no nothing. It's just like ferns are in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that you knew the specifics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's like, don't you go?
No, we're topside workers. We don't go down very much.
And I think this is the point that Steve-O kind of sits down, chair, backwards so he can sit on it.
Yep.
Oh my God, if you come and sit down, flip your chair and sit down, Julia Rikers over her chair and like fully just like steps over to sit in, and then you come and flip it. Okay, sorry.
Plate with or a tray with just a plate of fries that are just like more than anyone needs to consume, and just kind of slides them so they're in the middle for everybody to just start picking at while we're talking about things.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Mm-hmm. Mall lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we gotta get down there. Just like a mouthful of fries. Gotta get those ferns. Gotta find out more about the fashion show. We need eyes on the inside.
Yeah,
I think Kai says like, what do ferns have to do with fashion? And he's like slowly taking like one fry.
They have everything to do with fashion, new kid. Everything.
Are you serious, neighbor?
He'll get it. He'll get with the program. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Julia, you're responsible for this one.
Sounds great. We'll be buddies, right? I'll kind of like elbow him. It'll be good. We'll be fine. We'll make it through this together. We'll make it through the fashion show. Ferns intact. It'll be good. We'll get there. It's fine.
Okay,
we need to get some eyes in there. We need to figure out what's going on.
I was scoping it out earlier. They were putting up screens with projectors.
What?
That's right. Screens with projectors. Like they're gonna show some modern media on there or something.
That can't be legal.
That's what's the point of having a fashion show and then having screens with projectors? Just go watch a movie then.
You make a good point.
It's like a whole different event.
I think Kai's taking a second fry and just says like, oh yeah, Events Unlimited. They do that. I think he's just like he just like has been hearing the planning stages of this for weeks now. So I think he just like literally knows all these things but doesn't know why any of it is important.
I think Julia's gonna fully swivel on and be like, explain.
I think it like mid bite of fry just like freezes, and he probably like gets pretty flush and he's just like, yeah, they got cameras coming in. It's so you can see it. You can see the clothes bigger.
But you can see the clothes. They're on the people
right
going
there.
down the runway of the fashion show.
That's why we're here to like,
with
watch it with our
on
eyes.
either side and the laser lights. What happened to the laser lights?
They're bringing
basement.
They're
in the basement.
Probably with the ferns.
Probably with the ferns. We need to resurrect the lights in the ferns.
Can't like what they're gonna do? Like they're gonna show on the big screens the people that you could just watch with your eyeballs, and then they're gonna spotlight them so they're all properly lit and stuff.
Well, the screens are probably for the bigger audience they're bussing in.
They're bussing people in?
Well, yeah, they've been promoting this at all the other malls. All the people are coming here.
The other malls are coming to our mall?
I think it's probably also started like around like if you now like stop and look.
Yeah,
like you're used to your routine, but you stop and look, and there's like way more people in the mall right now than there usually is. Like virtually all of the like for some reason this table was empty, so you didn't notice it, but like all of the other tables are completely full of people. And it's people who like look like, right? They're like the city folk. You can tell.
Yeah, they're the city slickers.
I think we get really conspiratory, and like from as soon as we notice this, everyone like the three of us instinctually like lean in to get like a little bit more like okay.
I was gonna say I love the image of like, you know, in a movie when there's like it dawns on you and it zooms in on some different people and then some different it's like ba-da, 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 and you're like we're all just like we didn't think to like
right.
we didn't think to
and
really
Kai is just
observe
still slowly eating a fry. Like
he's on like the same fry. Like,
yeah, there's like no realization whatsoever.
He's just like, yeah, and all of us are like
right.
Well, obviously we can't let this happen, right? Like
is it even the fashion show anymore? What is this? Did they think we're in Paris? Sorry.
You're great. You're great.
You know, where they have the fashion.
Where they have the fashion, yeah.
That's not the point of our fashion show, though. Our
Never has
fashion
been.
show is our town. It's us. It's in our listen.
It's in the ferns.
What was great about the fashion show was how terrible it was. And now it's going to be terrible because it's going to be great. This is horrible.
The dichotomy of fashion shows.
I think Kai is nodding, but like
Yeah, not getting it.
nothing.
Not getting it at all.
Right.
Oh, what can okay? How do we? So we have to get all the stuff back.
I think we need recon. We need to go figure out. We need to learn a little bit more. We need to go kind of snoop, and I think we need to bring back some of the classic elements of this event.
And I think we might need to put away a few of their new things. It's clearly the only way. We have to help them to realize the mistake they have made.
Mall heist, mall heist.
Yeah,
mall
I'm like,
heist.
I'm not. I'm thinking about my stats, and I'm not sure how we're doing it yet. But I'm trying to clearly indicate to those who know me. Maybe Kai doesn't get it, but I'm getting ready to like either break
Sticky
some
fingers.
stuff or steal it and hide it or.
Well, we're gonna need some time to be able to do that.
I think Kai like leans to Julia to like vet the idea first, I guess, even though like literally everybody can still hear him. He's just like, I mean, I can take you to the ferns. I think they're the event planners are in the mall office though. They have all the documents, they have all the plans, so we could split up.
Full of good ideas, this one. I'm telling you, he knows what's up.
I don't.
He eats a third fry and it's a little bit more triumphant this time.
Yeah.
This is the first smart thing you've said, neighbor.
Yeah, full blush, huge. Like,
okay, all right.
Well, so the kid here can get us to the ferns, but he said the plans were upstairs in the office. Would it make sense for us to see those plans so we know what we're up against?
Maybe that could be. We need recon. We need some intel gathering. We need to know what we're up against.
Well, I can take somebody to get the ferns. If somebody else, I mean, I can't carry the ferns.
Yeah, I think at least two people will need to go get ferns. And then
Julia's strong, right? We can get ferns.
Sure.
That's good. I'm better at taking away things than adding them.
I'm into it. We can find some like carts, move them around. We've got mall uniforms on. We work here. It's fine.
I think Kai is still in street clothes at this point.
Oh.
Like, he hasn't changed, but like, so I think he looks down and gets
uniform.
right. I think you say that he looks down and gets very concerned.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's good. I've got a uniform on. I've got a name tag and everything. See, Julia.
It's so good. So would it work? Sorry, someone's like vroom vrooming outside my house. Someone just roomed past in the mall. Someone stole a golf, like a little mini kid. One of the kids goes by. One of the kids escaped jungle gyms in like a
We
little,
all just we're all sitting and we all
No
just
one's
all of our
watching the
heads-
kids.
all of our heads just like go and watch it. Okay, so
Yeah, I was gonna say, Val fully watches this kid escape from jungle gyms and is like, Mike, make sure you park it properly. Just like,
and we're like, okay.
Right. I don't know how many scenes that technically was, but I think what we probably makes sense is to finish out lunch is let's do like 2 more. Like we can do 2 scenes, like one of, Julia and Kai going to get the ferns and Steve and Val going to the mall office.
I like it.
I mean, they did happen simultaneously, so
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. Sir, go ahead.
Mhm.
Nope, you got it.
I was gonna ask that to move stuff, like to move stats. Would we do something along the lines of like would we reminisce? Is that one of the things you do? Do you like reminisce about a time? Like does Val need to remember a time where she stole the entire giant bear from outside the Sporting's Good store, like something like that to get an extra point in like cred or something?
Yeah, she can tell that story and move a corporate to a cred.
Yeah, so like while you guys are doing that, we'll go get some things.
Which is now back in front of the sporting goods store, but everybody who works at the mall refers to it as Val's Bear.
yeah.
And he has a little like marker on him, almost like a tattoo or something that she put on his back.
Yep. The bear has a lower back tattoo.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he has a tramp stamp. I'm sorry. I stamped him. He's my bear boy now.
Right.
I'm putting myself down as 4 cred now. Okay.
So 4 cred, 2 corp.
Oh, so that's okay.
Yeah, it always shifts.
It shifts like that. Okay.
They always add up to 6. That's what you get.
I wasn't sure if like just one at a time moved.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry.
Then I also want an interstitial scene of Steve going back to the music store and talking to his boss Vinny and asking for the big box of Raft City Records flyers that they have like in the back of the store that they haven't used in a million years.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to convince his boss that like, hey, we see this big new thing is going on. I thought it would be a good idea if maybe you give me a little time. I'll take these up to the office and see if we can't maybe distribute these out on the chairs before it starts, because they came in this morning and they were buying music and maybe we can get, some of that traffic in here.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like you're trying to move to corporate.
I'm trying to do a little of that before we head upstairs.
Yep,
Yeah.
That's smart.
Nice.
Nice. We have a little bit of both. This is so
There we
good.
go. All right.
I love it.
Cool.
Do we think there's any narrative reason to do one of these scenes before the other? I mean, I think they're effectively happening at the same time.
They're-
Like,
yeah,
in
in
the
tandem.
TV show, do they show which? So yeah, I mean, we'll get the ferns.
I think do ferns first.
Yeah. So, and I think it is. I think one of the things like that's most interesting here is that Julia knows Kai is new in general, and also knows that he is new to the mall, and yet he seems to know exactly where he's going. Like he
Yeah.
just opens the right doors, and he
Mhm.
never makes a wrong turn. And he goes through these back hallways that you've been in some of the like the back
Yeah.
hallway from like your store to like the garbage or something,
Mhm.
but like he's just like cruising all over these, and they
Yeah.
have like they're not even close to the movie theater, let alone like aside from the fact that he's never been
Yeah.
here. And eventually like are in a section of hallway that you've never even been to before, that you've never seen, and eventually there's just like this like a service elevator, like just this like old like sliding door, like with the grate, it's like the open air ones, like it's just grates around it so you can see the the elevator shaft around it.
Spooky.
Yeah, that's right. And there's like probably like there's probably like a cart or something that we'll find, but
Mhm.
I think just to mix things up, though, there is like we get there and there's somebody coming out of the elevator with like an empty cart, like maybe like two of like the kind of work staff here, and they're talking about like having to like put things in the basement that should have been up. Like they just came in and like brought all the old stuff out in the morning, and then now they had to like put it all back. And I think they come out and look at us and immediately give us the like, what are you doing back here?
So we were sent down by like the planning committee. They're called, what are they called? I'd like leaning down to kind of ask the name of the company who is
Events Unlimited.
The Events Unlimited people asked to come down, check some stuff out, and we'll be in and out real fast. Just need to grab some stuff. Catch you on the flip side, and I'm just gonna see if they'll just like let us go.
I think that sounds like a corporate
Let me roll. It could be technically either, because I'm lying to them, but also I'm trying to show that I'm on your side.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing is like, what's the tack? I think that there's two versions of this. It's appeal to them as mall workers, like appeal to them as part of the staff, or trying. I
did say I'm in uniform, so I guess I'll try to. I'll shoot for a corporate then.
I think though, like as we're kind of like explaining this to them, like Kai fills in like the relevant terminology and the relevant like, names. So the
people who have told me to come down here, she's like, that guy,
It's like a verbal Mad Lib.
Yeah. So I think he is officially helping. So that's a second die.
Okay. And my stats are still 3 and 3. So
yep.
Here we go. 1.
There you go. Nailed it. All right. And so then
I think they're kind of like. Okay, yeah. I think you say the right names. And they're like, oh yeah, I know Jason. Yeah, okay, go on through. And we're like, okay. I think we get in the elevator and Julia's like, it like gets down past them, and I'm like, she's like, do. And then as soon as it gets like, we can't see, she's gonna like smack her shoulder, be like, nice going, kid. Oh, we got this. Oh, we're so good at this. Do you know where anything is down here? And I think that's like
and I think
land.
I think the scene is like them getting off the elevator, and again he just like takes off in a direction, like he's just
like, got it. Okay, let's go.
He like immediately just like nonchalantly knows exactly where he's going, and I think they wander off into the basement to procure ferns.
Julia's like, oh, I've never seen this. Oh, you're over here. Okay, man, have you known where? Like she's talking the whole time. Right. Oh, this is cool. Oh, how long has this been down here? Have you seen this? Like, why?
So I think that's we will secure ferns and see you later with them.
Perfect. Okay, so now we're looking for the plans, right?
Yeah. So I think we're gonna meet up.
Yeah.
Steve will have a couple of the copies of the flyers for the music store in his hands, and say, hey, why don't we head on up to the offices and see if we can't at least get a look-see at those plans, if not a copy of them.
Yeah, I mean, if they're within reach, we might as well just bring them along with us.
I'm just saying, work your magic. I will provide some distraction, hopefully.
Okay, let's do this. So, I mean, we all know where the office is, so we just like head.
Yeah.
Up there.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but definitely 100% you meet my dad.
Oh,
yes. Yes.
That's
he's gonna be there.
Right. Whatever happens, he is there in some capacity.
So Steve's gonna pop his collar and look all, as good as he can, right? And they're gonna, walk in there, again, trying to affect that, like, I've got a purpose, but obviously look like, we know where the office is, but we never go here and we're not involved in any of this. So, like completely looking at a place, but trying to fit in. And
I mean, Steve's got purpose here. There's a cover story in the works.
But he's also looking for who he needs to talk to. And of course, it's new management he's unfamiliar with and like event planners he doesn't know.
Right.
Right.
I think with the.
But he's going to. Okay.
I think what the office looks like is there's like a front office where like it is completely reasonable for you to be in this front office.
Yeah,
It
like
is,
a reception area almost, or like
right, yeah, like there's a receptionist here. There's like a small waiting area, and then I think there's probably like a couple doors behind, like in maybe a very short hallway, and one of them is just like a records room, and one of them is just like a very small meeting room, and I think one is just as like manager on it. And I think that it would like they could be there, maybe like the event planners and the mall manager having a meeting in that little conference room. But I think that there's definitely like a gate there where it's totally fine for you to be here and asking the questions you're asking, but like there's a section behind it probably that's like you can't just like walk into the mall manager's office or whatever.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I want to see Steve try.
Oh, okay. So then there's going to be someone in the front office. There's going to be a receptionist or a admin assistant, somebody who is working there who isn't necessarily, who Steve would be familiar with also.
It's Cheryl. We all know Cheryl.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like that. I love it.
Steve's gonna walk right on up, and he's gonna do that whole kind of like half sit on the other edge of the desk, like talking to Cheryl like he's always talking to her. And he's going to say, hey, Vinny sent me up here with some questions about today's big event. We've got some flyers. We were thinking about doing a little advertising. He wanted me to run it by folks. Can we get a word with some folks, Cheryl? And do some of that.
Yeah. Do you like lay it on Cheryl all the time? Is this like, do you have a rapport with Cheryl?
Steve's going to approach it like he does. This has maybe happened like once, but yeah, he's going to assume like he's got that in.
I'm thick, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right. So you're trying to get in to the manager. I think if we think that the mall manager is in with a meeting, it's probably more like she's not going to just like let you walk into that meeting.
Yeah.
No, of course not.
She'll probably she'll tell you to just like have a seat and wait.
I'm wondering if there's almost like there's like the reception area and she's like the receptionist / like maybe the mall manager's assistant or something like that. And then maybe like he has an office to one side and then on the other side maybe there's like a meeting room. So maybe they're in like the meeting room.
I think they're in the meeting room. The office is probably empty right now.
Yeah.
That's solid. So Cheryl's gonna stonewall him, of course. Mm-hmm. And she's gonna say like, oh, hey, just leave those for me. I'll talk to him. And Steve's gonna she's gonna say, yeah, you guys can wait right here. And Steve's gonna say, oh, well, actually, I got to get back to the store. Would it be okay if I just leave these in the office for him when he's done with the meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that hopefully maybe we can get into that office that nobody's in right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Are you doing corporate or are you doing cred? Are you trying to be sneaky and abuse your power? I know we locked and loaded corporate to come in here, but like, what is happening?
So I think the way it's going in Steve's head is what he's thinking is he's trying to play like he sees on TV and movies and all that kind of like, corporate and office, like, hey, we work together, so we, help each other out kind of thing. Like, this is how work happens. This is what happens at work. Like
you're trying
that
to make
kind of
her
thing.
life easy.
I feel
right. We don't have to be in your way. Let us just,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing.
I'm being helpful. I'm a helpful employee. See, I'm like just doing my job. I just want to do my job. So I can see it. I can see it like that.
All right. Okay, then it's a corporate role.
All right.
Is Val assisting in any way? Or
I was wondering if I'm allowed to assist or if I should wait to do my own role, but I can assist and still do a different role otherwise.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I mean, as long as it makes narrative sense, like what is Val? I guess the question is, can Val add to this scenario?
Yeah,
or
I don't know if she... I feel like at the point we're already at.
Yeah.
I don't know that she can.
Yeah,
no, because she can't even like distract because she wants to go in too.
In the usual way that Steve doesn't plan things,
yep,
he's got no explanation for why the elephant is with him.
Yep, just is.
Cheryl's seen me around.
Yeah, I mean,
Cheryl drops her
but
kid
like-
off with me sometimes. Mike is Cheryl's, and like I put up with Mike a lot. So listen,
That's
I'm like,
perfect. Of course, it's Cheryl's kid who's driving around the mall right now.
Right now, I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, hey Cheryl, Mike's doing good. Just he's having fun in jungle gyms. Always a good time at jungle gyms.
All right.
Like,
Okay, so yeah, you're kind of a little bit distracting. I think that's good enough to help out.
Cool.
Also, because I kind of want Steve to fail and this to come back on Vale. Like, I really,
that would be so good, actually.
I really want that to be the failure here. Is that
So,
What did you roll?
we slid a point over into corporate, right?
yep, to make it 4.
So
What's
I've got 4. And Val's helping, so I rolled 2 dice.
Yep, you take the lower of the 2.
Yes. So I rolled a 4 and a 5.
Oh,
so I
God.
tied the number I
Okay.
needed.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you equal to the stat. Things get complicated. Describe a messy situation, what your success costs you, or how you need to compromise. So either
Success with consequence, basically.
yeah. So like, what is the consequence here? Is this like, what bad thing happens now, or what bad thing is set in motion that's going to come back? Or how do you only get like part of what you want here?
I don't know. If it was something that like, oh no, I don't know. If it was a problem that comes later, I was gonna say we hear like a tiny car honking in the background.
Yeah, well, I mean, so that could be the thing is that like, so you succeed, so you're gonna get to do what you're trying to convince her to
Right.
do, but something also is gonna go wrong. And I don't know if it necessarily has to be in regards to exactly the role they made, or if there could just be an external complication to this
Right.
scene.
I mean, it could be both. I think like Mike and a band of feral children
It
could
would be very
literally
funny.
drive by the office door in a go-kart in the golf cart. So Cheryl is like goes tearing off after them.
So she,
like,
she
you have
succeeds,
created
but
this
now you're in
space.
trouble later.
Right, but now she knows that you have completely lied and
Mhm.
also endangered her child.
Yeah.
He's fine. Mike's the best driver of the bunch.
He's the best. Yeah, out of all the 3-year-olds, he's the best driver.
Yes.
Exactly. So I think like yes, you have created like good extra space here, but Cheryl definitely knows that you lied and are not supervising her 3-year-old. Correct.
So the office is open to you then.
Right.
By which I mean I love not doing my job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Alright.
she goes running out, and I think we can sneak into like the office, and I think there's like, are the plans just laying out there? Are they literally like just sitting out? Were they just working on?
So I'm imagining like I'm so much older. I'm imagining like a Wonderful World of Disney style, like, relief map across the table, like showing the mall, and then it's got, the ferns removed and sitting over to the side, and like, how the projection screens are set up.
There's a plan view, which like a top-down view, like almost like an architectural view of the like layout, and then there's one of those clear trace papers over top that shows the old and the new, so you can literally do
absolutely
the fold,
better.
Absolutely, I like that.
And so like literally like we see the original and we're like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, and then we lay out the like we managed to lay out the like the other piece, and it's completely different. It's this modern show, and we're just like, oh no, this is
There's
not
like a
The camera
there's like an
zooms in
intense
on
zoom
words.
in on some words, and then your faces as you're like shocked, and then some other plans, and then you guys.
I think
And
the words say no ferns in all caps.
no.
And to add insult to injury, it's got like local seating behind all the like guest seating.
Yeah, there's like 8 rows of VIP seating for the guests.
Okay.
Dun,
So yeah, I'm gonna be like, I'm like, Stevie, I need you to watch that door because this is going in my pocket. This is. And
I'm totally watching the door.
I start rolling it to like take the
Nice.
whole, like it's this big thing,
Right.
and I start rolling it to fit it somewhere in my elephant uniform. Like,
You fold it map style, so like the really complicated, like the huge thing down to like a pamphlet size.
oh, I was imagining it's one of those tubes, like you like literally do like
And it's gonna just be like sticking out of your back pocket,
It's
like
gonna
an
be sticky.
antenna.
It's gonna be an extension of my elephant tail. Like
I was gonna say, do you fit it in the tail? So now the tail's just like sticking out straight.
elephant tail's only like this big, and then the like thing is like.
Maybe there's like they had to bring these plants in something. I'm sure there's like a canister
Yeah,
that maybe
there's
has like a
probably, like, a
strap on it.
tube.
So you're
Yeah.
gonna like full on like you can like, yes, we're set. We've got
Yes.
our
I'm going full like safari elephant on this, and I'm taking this,
Nice.
strapping it to me. Can I have 2 dice because I have Steve helping me?
I mean, I think like I don't think there's any risk in taking that.
Oh,
I think there might. I think there
She's
might.
gone. She left.
That's true.
Cheryl
After the
left.
kids.
I mean, if you want to like, we could do a roll to see like, can you sneak back out without the manager seeing you? Because I would love to see if you bump into my dad or not.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
So you do a cred check with 1 die, unless you have. So if you get 1, if you have a background that adds to it, you get 2, and if Steve's helping, you get 3.
I mean, is background? Oh, nothing in my background.
Just like-
I don't.
I
Yeah,
mean,
just
that's
like
part of
anything that's on your
goal
sheet.
today.
My goal
though,
today was
like,
do a
that's-
crime though.
Yeah. So I mean,
You spent like all night last night watching like heist movies.
yeah.
So like,
Yep.
you know how to like sneak
But
around.
only the really classic ones, because I'm
Yeah.
like nothing modern. Like.
God, we're a bunch of just like stuck in the past teens. Ugh.
Yeah.
So,
Does
all
that
right,
mean
so
I can
that's
have an extra one?
Yeah, cred plus 1. Yeah, so
Okay.
2 dice on a cred roll.
Okay, so I have 4 cred, and I'm rolling a 5 and a 2.
Oh, 2 works.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, geez, did you roll a 5 and a 5? Jeez, that would be great. So yeah, you get it. Handle, you get what you want, which I'm assuming is to sneak out undetected.
Yes.
I think as they're leaving, I like a shot of where like, so the office has like the window next to the door, probably like floor to ceiling. As they're like running past, you can kind of see in the background as like 2 people from a desk kind of like stand up and shake hands, and one of them is Kai's father, but we don't get to know that yet.
We don't know
Right.
that yet.
Yeah,
love
we
it.
were close. I do want to like, I think it makes sense to like, there was probably like name on like, there was a name on the door, like it
Yeah,
had to
we
say.
see it. We
absolutely.
see the
Yeah,
name.
but
Yeah.
I don't
It
know
had
your
to
last
say-
name. I haven't even
Yeah.
taken the time to learn your first name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
somebody
No, but
in
we leave now knowing that Metz is the last name of the
Yeah.
new
Yeah, of the
Yes.
manager.
mall manager for sure.
Yes.
somebody in chat put the full name, and I think
Yeah,
it was
give-
like
give him full
it was
name.
like
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Metz.
Yeah.
Michael Metz,
what
mall
was
manager.
it?
Yep. Oh man,
I love it.
I think it was Michael. If you remember
Mr.
what the
Michael
name was.
Metz, mall manager.
Mr. Michael Metz,
Yep.
mall manager.
So
Yep,
exactly.
yep.
So I think like you definitely, yeah, you take that with you. Like you saw Metz, so like now you have a name to like complain about.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
Love it. Awesome. Okay.
That's the end
So
of.
that's the end of lunch. And then like with rolling those stats, if you succeed by perfectly executing a plan or following the rules, you move 1 from cred to corporate. Or if you find success in chaos or impulsiveness, or by breaking the rules, move 1 point from corporate to cred.
Oh, so we gotta
So-
move stats.
Should we just take another point?
So you move 1. So I
Yeah.
would say for probably for Val was definitely like impulsive and breaking the rules. So I would move 1 from corporate to cred.
So now I'm at
Um,
5 and 1.
Oh
yeah.
my.
So
Oh,
you're close to
geez.
maxing out.
Ooh, you gotta
oh,
do.
No.
You gotta,
I need to. Oh no! I need to reverse.
You need to suck up to someone.
Reverse. Oh, I guess I gotta go. I
I-
guess I gotta go wrangle those kids.
Yeah, I don't think so. Steve's role was to kind of talk his way in. So I don't think he needs to move anything because he did not perfectly execute a plan or follow the rules. I think he was just kind of making it up on the fly.
That makes sense.
And then our role, or Julia's role, was to, I don't know. You could make an argument that says move corporate to cred because we broke the rules.
We did break the rules. Yeah, I mean, I was using technically the corp stat,
right?
but we did do something.
Yep. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not necessarily about like which stat you use.
Yeah,
it's just
no,
what
yeah.
did you do to accomplish it. And
I
so,
think
yeah.
That
we
actually makes
definitely
sense. Yeah.
undermined a little bit. We're by lying to higher up employees. So I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. And since we're in between scenes, I can hit
Yep.
the pick a winner button.
Oh, sweet.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's do it.
So I will do it, and we're gonna see in a second. Geek Outs.
Hey, Geek Outs!
Geek Outs is the winner
Congrats.
of the prize pack, including a copy of the Mall Kids Zine, the PDF, the micro expansion, the pin collection, and the stickers. So congrats to Geek Outs.
Congrats, Geek Outs.
Love it. All right. So we are moving into evening, which is winding down the day, checking in on your goals, and keep or break promises.
Oh, we have a task.
I feel like our evening needs to be like
The heist needs to
dealing
come
with
to
this scenario. Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like we meet up again.
Yep.
Either maybe where we started the day in between the game shop and the music shop, and we all just converge and we're like,
yeah.
Okay.
I think it feels like this needs to be like a back room. Like we wheel the ferns through the hallways to the back room of like the game store, and like we commandeer the back room and spread out the map. And
yes, yeah, true. Very good point.
So I like that.
Well, sure, because it wouldn't look out of place to be in like a game store back room with like a map laid out on a table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your manager comes in and is just like, all right, that looks cool.
I'm glad she's learning, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. The irony of this goes over her head. Like she does not.
Right. Yeah, it's not funny at all.
She's like, oh shit, when the manager comes in and he's like, all right, I'm glad you're picking it up. See you later. And he like heads out. And she's like, what? Steve will have to explain it to her later.
He's like, yeah, because it looks like a game.
Oh, smart.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, your manager thinks you're actually learning one of the super complicated map games right now.
Oh shit, now I actually have to learn a super complicated map game. Just for a later date, and then we'll spread out over all of our stuff.
Just make
Who wants to do our first scene and kind of codify our plan here? Who's the mastermind?
I mean, I could start because I have Val and Steve could reveal the map to like the other, because I think that gives us something to go on. It lets us really see where they're at and where we're at. So yeah, I do think it is that scene like Kaitlin just described of like I think what you see is like Val's like, okay, ready? And like opens the tube and lays it out so you just see like our mall and our version of the like this is our fashion show. And I'm like, see? And I look at like neighbor, this is how it's supposed to be. And perfect burns, laser lights, fog machines.
I think Kai's like immediately like taking like kind of spins the map around to orient it, and he's kind of like taking the transparency layer back and forth and just like really studying it.
Yeah.
Like he's just like really getting up to speed. And I think it's a lot of asking questions. He's just like, and this, they're like smoke machine, obviously. And like, okay.
They always go here.
Yeah,
like, it has to be. It's the best angle to get it all over the runway. We got to make sure that gets there.
Because I was showcasing the old one, and then I was gonna be like, and then this monstrosity, and then I'm gonna lay out the update and be like,
and all three of us have like the zoom in, like
all of us are like, it's horrible. It burns my eyes.
I think it's like it's following that trend of just like that weird like directed confidence comes back out, and I think he just like pops a marker like from a cup on a desk and just starts drawing like, okay, well, we need to get to like this food court entrance with the ferns because it's the shortest distance to the stage, but then like, you know, then we need to like come over here, and I'm like, so I think he's like drawing out like all of the stuff that's going on. And
I have a question.
Yes,
this is so that scene we described of the boss coming in and being like, yeah, okay, she's trying to learn. Could I maybe move back to 3 and 3 for corporate and cred from that?
What do you want to move? You want to move
I want to be back
corporate?
Back to corporate because I've gained favor from my boss a little bit.
Sure, that can be your move this during this beat.
That works.
I move back because I have some thoughts later and I don't want to be too close to maxing out.
So I think I wanna do a roll I think it's probably corporate because it's like really planning and like management type stuff. But I want to do a role to basically address the quality of this plan. So like this plan is like what we're going to use going forward. And I want to just like see how like good that is to go.
I actually want to make a suggestion.
Yes.
So we've got a lot of moving parts here. We've got a lot of stuff we have to move around and get back to the way it's supposed to be. We might need a distraction. Don't know what that distraction is yet, but I volunteer.
And I think Kai adds that to the map. He's like, oh, well, yeah, if we're coming from this entrance with the ferns, we're going to need, 2 minutes and 45 seconds to get to the stage. And you're going to need to be over here to get the right angle for everybody to look at so nobody sees us coming. So I think it's like, again, I think it's a lot of like, planning, just like that's who he is. So my corporate's down to 2.
Oh wow.
Because I went cred, and I think this is corporate because I'm trying to like manage and follow rules and set that up. And I think just like setting the stage, I think like the failure or complication here is that later we do a dumb thing. I don't think anything bad is going to happen right this moment.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll my 1 die. And it is not even close to lower than 2.
Oh, no.
It's not a 6.
Could you have assistance because we're all planning?
If somebody has like a good, reasonable explanation for how they would be good at helping me plan mall logistics.
I mean, we've been here. I mean, you know a lot about malls, but like
Right.
we've been here. Like we know the mall. Like
I think
this is like our turf. Yeah. So if I can do something to get attention over here, it'll give you that extra couple of seconds you need.
All right. I'll
Make
roll
sure
a second.
that distance is a little too long.
I'll roll a second one. Nope. 4
Ah!
and a 5.
And now you both have to suffer consequences.
Yeah. So I think that's the thing is like the consequences are that the plan, like I have missed a variable. Like like there's something in the mall, like they moved like where the garbage cans are in the food court or something. There's like something on this older version of the map that is technically different. And I don't know, like I don't have any real world context. I just believe in this map.
Yeah.
And it's something that you guys just like overlook because it's a weird mall schematic and you don't know like what, like this little box with the plus sign in it is supposed to mean garbage can, but you don't know that.
We know the mall for real. This map doesn't mean much to us. We just know from like the 3D actual space.
So I think the actual complication is that when we go to enact this plan, we're going to find that we don't have enough time because like the route I plan is bad.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I love it. I'm wondering what could we do to cause a big enough distraction to move into position? Do we know where like breakers are? Could we like turn off some lights in that area? Cause a little bit of a panic?
Yeah, we can. I think Kai's suggestion was basically like, we're coming from like the north. So like if you distract to the south and make everyone look that way, that was like Kai's suggestion, was to like do a physical distraction in the mall, but like.
Do a little bit of both, man. We can make it happen.
I mean, yeah, Kai would definitely know where breakers are. I think there's probably like a huge like panel of electrical stuff behind a cage, like a locked cage door somewhere in the access.
The other thing that Julia and I could do is call in some friends and probably start a flash mob at the kind of south location.
There's one every year at the fashion show.
Especially if we put out the word that there's a lot of other folks from rival high school in the building. We got to get folks from our school in the building.
It's going to be early, but like we're going to have to make it work.
It's a teen high school dance off.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. No, rival dance crews from both schools.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes, it is.
It's West Side Story. Some of them just come in like snapping. Like I think while we're still planning, some like noise happens outside and Val's like, oh crap, I actually have to go do my actual job and I'm gonna have to leave the planning Because I need to take a point over from Chris. I'm dangerously high up, so I think I need to like give in to the man and go do my actual job for a bit. So I need to go.
We'll be like, okay, we'll come and get you when the time is right.
I mean, we could spice it up and just say Val wasn't there for any of the planning. Like that's the trade-off is Val immediately went from the office to the kid's place and missed out on all of like the planning stages.
Oh, that sucks, but okay.
It's up to you. I'm just saying that would be like really spicy to come in and be like, Val has no idea what we're doing.
I like the idea that Val laid out the map and then immediately had to leave.
Yeah, like, all right, I gotta go. There are kids running rampant.
Yeah, I gotta go like herd them all. Like,
I gotta find Mike before Cheryl does.
Yes.
It's okay. I know his usual spots. It's fine. I'll get him. And like Val's gonna go do that thing that happens in movies where like the grown-ups know something has gone wrong, but like Val herds them all quickly. Like Val has like a call for the kids and they all like come and return.
There's a scene, as you're chasing kids around the
and then by the time like Cheryl goes around looking for Mike, and then by the time she comes back to Jungle Jim's, Val is sitting there like waiting for her.
Somehow,
and like all the kids are
it's like very like a Scooby-Doo style. You miss each other every single time until like you get there and you're like with like a second to spare.
Yeah, with a second to spare, but like acts super cool about it and like she isn't out of breath and like stuff like that and like absolutely. Because I think
Cheryl.
I was gonna say that I think like Val mostly Val and the kids have this agreement where they get away with almost anything, but like
as long as they don't like rat on her, she won't rat on them.
Like. You still gotta be back by pickup time.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Like all right, Jan, you got a scene for our. Where are we at? I forgot what scene we're on. Evening.
We're in evening.
Yeah.
We need to make our final stand.
Yeah. I think just for some context, I think what makes sense is like we'll do like closing and then like somewhere in closing will be the show. Like it'll be the fashion show. So like whatever we're doing in the next few scenes comes to fruition at some point.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, I think.
What was Steve's goal today? Like, what does Steve want?
Oh yeah,
Steve's pretty much met his goal.
Okay.
The goal was largely to fit in, and Steve isn't usually this deep into a coterie of friends, so he's really enjoying all the stuff today. I was thinking about our kind of narrative flow, and trying to work that whole reveal of your connection to your dad into this, because I'm thinking at about this time, there is undoubtedly that sort of like, management stopping by each store to kind of like, hey, here's what's going on and make sure, here's where you need to be and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of how to make that happen.
No, I think like that scene that you described is perfect. Like the three of us walk out of the back room, like rolling up the map and everything. And it just so happens that my dad is checking in on this store and he's talking to like whoever the manager is of the game store. And the three of us come walking out. And
I think that's what needs to happen next.
Yeah. And I think it's just like, Kai, why aren't you at work? And he freezes. And it's suddenly that like awkward statuesque like kid from the morning. Like he's like all of that confidence throughout the day is just gone. And he's right back to just like holding still, hoping like his dad doesn't see.
He disappears.
Right.
Better movie can't see me.
I was gonna say his dad works by T-Rex rules.
Right, yeah. I think it's like that's his. Yeah,
he's
that's
like,
his
oh shoot, where'd
mechanism.
Kai go? I swear he was just here. And like Kai's like perfectly still.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that is like I actually like this. This kind of like rolls into a stat change. I think this is like obviously this is a corp going into cred, because I like completely blew off my job. I was supposed to be at my job like 3 hours
A
ago.
while
or something.
ago.
Right.
Yeah, like lunchtime. So for those keeping score at home, I am now at 5 cred.
Ruh-oh.
And it's, you know what? Maybe it's even like he takes Kai out. Like he doesn't want to have this conversation in front of other people. So it's like he takes
Oh
Kai out
yeah.
and further separates the group.
Well, then the scene is going to be me and Julia left there looking at like what just happened.
I think we just stand there for a second, like you walk out, and it's kind of like looking back and forth at each other, like.
I feel like the line is just like, wait, who's Kai? And then it's like, cut.
I think Julia knows who Kai is, so I think that's gonna be us.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah, Kai. That's his name?
Yeah. Wasn't that the big boss man?
Yeah, but Kai doesn't work in the office.
Yeah, he works at the movie theater.
Yeah, I think.
Do I know? Do you think there's a chance I know Kai's last name, but like have just never made the connection?
I think like he's
As
probably
a neighbor.
Well, as a neighbor, it's either on the mailbox or you've seen his dad there.
I was gonna say,
think
yes.
it's
Julia has seen the dad.
Yeah.
Out of work.
And then
right.
Steve sees like the name tag, like, you know, M. Metz mall manager or something.
Right.
So like, I think it's easy. Like, yeah, the two of you talk long enough to be like, that's Kai's dad. No, that's the mall manager. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
This
think
is
we
the same
just.
person.
I think we take a second where it's like, wait, and then it's like a thing where like you know someone's last name, but you don't make a connection until like there's context.
Yep.
So
Right.
she's like, wait, Kai Metz. Wait,
Yeah.
Mr. Michael Metz, mall manager.
Yeah.
Wait, and they have a little bit of a. That's Kai's dad. Uh-oh. He's in trouble.
Yeah. All right. That's the end of evening.
All right.
So Val and Kai have both already had a stat shift. This is a good opportunity if Julia and Steve like need a stat shift. This is an opportunity to do so.
I did a stat shift this scene
You did? Okay.
at the beginning of the scene.
Perfect. Then otherwise, so the next beat is technically.
Well,
go ahead.
if the next beat is close and that's where we're going to work in the show.
Yeah, I think the show has to happen by the end of this beat because then the next beat is after hours where we're like off clock and everything. So I think this has to be the show has to be somewhere at like the second or third scene.
Cool. Then before we get to close, Steve's going to take the opportunity to distribute that box of flyers onto the seats for the event. And while he's doing that, he's going to rearrange all of the assigned seating, you know, placards and things like that, and move all the VIP back and stuff, and you know, just kind of mess that all up in order to hopefully slide a point back over into cred.
I like it. I do, as part of like the requirement for this voluntary shift is it has to be known. Like it has to be so like you're doing
You
it.
could announce it to Julia. Like,
Well,
I think
the
like
other thing is,
somebody has to notice. Like his boss has to see him like messing with stuff.
All right. I was thinking because I'm also leaving basically a tag on every seat with the flyer,
right?
That it was also pretty public that way, but we can absolutely go with the getting observed doing it.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine. Like maybe your boss doesn't immediately find out about it, but like somebody comes and they're like, the seats are all messed up. What is this flyer for this thing? Like, yes, this will come back.
Like,
sure.
yes, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so corporate to cred then.
Cool.
All right. Okay, so closing is typically supposed to be last customers, final thoughts, and changing your mind. I think we've kind of also set up that at some point this beat, whenever it makes sense, the fashion show itself kicks off. So I think like the final bits of our heist need to kind of kick off here.
Yeah. I think we need to. I think this needs to be our first bit. Needs to be like getting into position to do our things, to do them, so we can like. I think that has to be. Unless anyone has anything else they want to do before that.
The only thing I had thought of is like, again, like my complication is that my original like route and plan is bad. So I think like I wanted to kind of resolve that early here and just say like, yeah, we're all getting into position, and you know, I think like, yeah, Kai at some point like comes back, and or maybe, you know, like the plan was like you're in the back, Julia's in the back room with the fern cart, and you know, everybody's where they need to be. But I think like it's like you know, Kai, like I was supposed to be somewhere else getting ready to do a thing, but you don't know if I'm there or not at this point because I was kind of hauled off. So maybe Kai comes in the middle.
I think
finally dressed for work.
Yeah, finally dressed for work. I think what kind of, not a thing that we are aware, like our characters would be aware of at this point, but I think what, because of the complication, what ends up happening is like it ends up, all the things we were trying to change, we end up with basically a solid mix of the old and the new. I think that's like the projectors are still there, but so is the smoke machine. We get one of the two ferns up, but like also like the new catwalk is there. Like there's stuff that we're not able to, like there's the light show is like intermixing with, I think that's what's going to be our complications, that we can't, we're not going to be able to remove the elements like we wanted to, but we can add our old elements.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of how this scene is going to kind of end up resolving itself.
Do we want to have the show kick off now and like have all the scenes in closing be backdropped by this active happening fashion show? Like the chaos of people finding their like mislabeled seats is going on.
That could be our distraction.
Yes.
And then
we move when people get confused by their seats. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like Val might employ the kids. And send them running over to the stage and just like do what kids do, you know what I mean? And like just start like
tell them that they need to go choreograph a dance now, and the kids just a really messy thing that they do that'll be endearing, and then before someone realizes, wait, these kids aren't supposed to be here.
And it's like it's like that earlier scene we had of like Val spying with the binoculars and like looking over the edge of the jungle gym at the like at the stage and all that and all the setup happening. This time like you see like Val and lines of kids beside her all staring over like they're all prepping, and she's like Val is like the child whisperer secretly. Like and then definitely like when I don't know if we have like a call sign or a go call or something like that, and Val will be like go, and the little kids go and just like like running in. I wanna see a role for how this turns out, but I'm not sure, because this is like it could be either way, because do good work,
she's
like
actually doing her job function.
This is what your job is to keep these kids organized and entertained. So you are literally doing your job, but you're also abusing your power and doing something sneaky. So
I feel like I'm absolutely abusing. I feel like I'm abusing my power. I feel like I've trained these children to appreciate chaos and anarchy as I do.
Yes.
And so I want to send them in.
So let's
do I get 2 dice since this is what I do? Actually, because
this is your job. This is your job. So, all right, 2 dice on a cred roll to see how well our child anarchy dance off distraction.
Come on, kids, let's do this. I believe in you. This is what we've been training for. So I'm at 4 cred, just so everyone knows right now. Oh, I got a 4 and a 1.
It is
nice.
So, I think it's like, oh, I didn't know we were doing a child fashion show this year, and then the kids like go nuts.
Yeah, they just like and I'm just standing there like, like so good.
Yeah, we see the kids go, and we're like, all right, let's mobilize, and we start moving some of our stuff into place.
So yeah, I think that's the getting all of our stuff. All the old stuff is out. So I think we have a fern, we got the smoke machine, we got the lasers.
We're not able to get any of the new stuff
But yeah, so it's just the stage is now set, and it's they're getting ready to start. Like the show is starting right now. So they don't have time to fix any of it. It just like all kicks off.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's amazing. I would like to, unless anyone else has anything they want to do pre or during the show.
The only thing that I had thought of was like we had this kind of thread of like the local teams were supposed to be the models and the city teams were taking over. So I kind of think they're like the MC is out and they're talking about like the show kicking off, and it's the two groups of teens backstage literally fighting over clothes to see who gets to go out.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And does Julia want to be like a part of that scuffle? And
oh yeah, she does.
So
yeah, no, I think she definitely, because like I feel like she's got a lot of like buds back there who are like a part of it. I don't know if any of you guys want to be in on that too, but like I think that there's definitely, I think there's like outfits aren't going out how they're supposed to be going out. Like it's like halfsies and like it's like so they end up finally agreeing. I think that it's going to be like fine. Half of the new city kids and half of the local kids get to go do it. But in this like whole kerfuffle, it's like these are not what they're supposed to be wearing in this order. But they kind of get out. But I think I don't know how everyone takes it. Julia has a blast, but she thinks this is great, and she knows she's not wearing what she's supposed to be, but it's kind of fun to wreck shop just a little bit. Yeah, and
since the new city kids that like came in and were gonna do it, they had directions based on the way the stage was supposed to be with the new setup, and the stage is all different now. Yeah. So I feel like Julia's crew and the crew from like the townies they're expecting fog. They're expecting ferns.
They know what's up. Yeah.
But they're rocking the stage because like Julia let them know what's up, whereas like the city kids are all thrown off.
Yes. So they're like stumbling or taking a really long time. Yeah. I like it. I don't even want to roll for that. That's perfect the way it is. That's how that should end. I want to inject Kai here really quick. So I think like Julia comes out and hits the runway and is just totally feeling it. And there's like, Kai is in like the front row audience and he's like, I don't know, he's like throwing popcorn up in the air or something. Yeah. And he's just like losing his mind a little bit. Like he's in his uniform, but it's also like untucked and like his like visor's on backwards or something. And he's just like finally, like he's yelling. Now he's yelling.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Hey neighbor from the front row.
Yeah, it's hey neighbor. Hey neighbor, really loud from the front row. Popcorn, hey, like
she gives you like popcorn. A full on like acknowledgement. 100%.
Nice.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Then if Julia's being obnoxious on stage, what's Val and Steve-O doing? Are you watching or are you like continuing to wreak havoc?
I envision this scene while all of this chaos is going on and Val's unleashed the kids and the fight just happened and now the show is going on and Kai is in the front row, Julia's up there and Steve is off a little kind of behind the seating doing the whole kind of somehow he just kind of wormed his way in and like the reporters from the local high school are doing like their getting their story for what's going on. And Steve-O's just trying to kind of focus on all of the, hey, look, they worked in some of the old stuff. Hey, look at our local high school kids taking part of this. And like trying to focus on all of the, we won this stuff from the plan and kind of trying to make that what the, reporter is focusing on.
Yeah. That's fun.
It's kind of that frontispiece to all that chaos going on behind him.
So history will tell that we won the day.
Just saying.
I want to propose a mood for the group and you can choose to accept it or deny it. But I think as like, we're not quite on after hours, but like as the fashion show is going on, I think there's like a moment of recognition that this is clearly the most fun we've ever had at a fashion show. And it might be because of the blend of the old and the new. And we're not quite ready to give up our classics. We're not ready to give up what we're used to, but maybe it's okay to have some fun with some new introductions into our tiny little town. And I would just like to throw that out. That's how Julia is feeling. If anyone else would like to coattail that, please do.
I like it because now, like, I wish I would have said it earlier. Like, Kai probably is from like that city, so like he probably has that new style.
Absolutely.
And so I don't think it's I don't think there's any realistic narrative world where like Kai and Julia are sharing clothes of any kind. But it's like definitely like swapping tips. At least it's like, oh well, you could do like this new thing with your old thing, and you could like, and then you could do this old thing with your new thing.
Very
so
nice.
like now they match in the middle.
But yeah, I think we have this montage of everyone doing a thing, and the growth of the people, and the realization that this was really damn fun and the most fun we've ever had. And I think we kind of get like the fade out of the show as we move into after hours.
Very cool.
It works. Really fast, I think Val probably needs to put a corporate into cred for her baby anarchy.
I have to take a point in corporate or cred, did you say? Sorry.
Move one from corporate to cred.
Ruh-roh. Okay.
Well, I mean, we're coming into the last...
Yeah, we're near the end.
We're coming into the last beat, so I wouldn't worry too much about it, but if we're being a stickler for rules...
Yeah. No, that's good. I have done a lot of moving and shaking.
Yeah, you
So yeah, after hours, finally off the clock, last chances, and calling it a day. So I think this is, and then there's technically like everybody gets like an epilogue, like what happens to your team after the day is completely done. So like you can still utilize after hours as like a full-on scene with randomness and dice rolling, and then you still get like a narrative piece at the end to like cap off what your character is all about. So does anybody have any thoughts about what happens when the lights shut off, the last of the fog burns off, and all of like the only people left in the mall now are the people who are like cleaning up, like someone's sweeping just a mountain of
popcorn.
Popcorn and Rhapsody record flyers are being swept up off the floor, and so it's just like the mall is ours again. Like
I would like to propose that we end where we began, as Julia's closing the grate on the game store, as Steve the man kind of coming back over, as we all kind of congregate in one area. But with this time, Kai is not an observer, he is a participant.
Yeah. Yes. I like that.
I don't know if anyone has any particular...
Steve's going to offer everybody a ride home.
100%.
Yeah. I think for Kai, it is just like I think he makes like a show of apologizing for like his dad causing all the, like he bought into the problems, and then he had this realization that like he was part of the problem, so to speak. So I think that is like, that's kind of like once everybody's together, and the high fives die down and there's like a quieter moment. It's just like, I'm sorry for wrecking your, fashion show.
I think after like the apology sits for a beat, and then Julie's just gonna be like, oh, and she's gonna like grab him kind of like really gently, like kind of like ruffle his hair and be like, no, it ended up being the most fun I think we've ever had.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say Val's gonna be like, it's okay, neighbor. You.
Steve's going to pull all that angsty teen, like sins of the parents kind of nonsense, and you're with us now, that kind of thing.
You're all right, new kid. You're all right.
I mean, that can be our after hours, unless anybody.
Yeah, no.
There can be, if anybody wants to have like a quick side conversation between two characters or anything like that. Otherwise, I think Jan pretty much called it. Like, I think our after the game ends is everybody piling into Steve's car. What does Steve's car look like?
So Steve, again, it's the rich family. So he's got way more car than he should have at this age.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's still sensible. It's not the a sports car, right? But because it's a family car, but it's very high end. It's
Yes.
tricked out. It's got the car phone in it, right? You
Oh
know,
my
like the whole
gosh,
deal.
yeah.
You know,
That's awesome.
Julia knows
plenty
where the
of
snacks
room,
are. Like
right.
she's gonna
Yeah.
dig them out
plenty
and
of
pass
room
them
for
around.
everybody to fit in.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of thing.
I think there's like Kai does that like kind of weird like blatant knowledge dump thing, and he's just like, oh, it's that car with that model thing. and
Yes,
it's got this
yes.
engine."
Absolutely.
Oh my
And it's just
gosh.
like, sure. Like at this stage, it's not even like weird.
Definitely.
That's
I
really
think-
funny. I was gonna say
unless
that I
you're-
think Val is double checking. You know the seats, how they have pockets at the back. Val's double checking in the back to see if that movie that Steve still has is in there. It's just
Is
like,
it in there? Is it in there, Steve?
like just double checking to see if like maybe this is where it is.
Completely oblivious to that as they're leaving the parking lot. Steve's like, so does everyone want to go watch a movie?
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
we drive out of the parking lot into the sunset, essentially,
right.
as we have blended old with new in the mall and in our hearts with our new friend Kai.
I
like
love
it.
that story. It was so good.
There you go.
I love that it came from a fashion show. Wow.
I forgot to say this when we took our break. I found out. I apparently didn't know this. My wife was in a mall fashion show.
Sweet.
She's literally apparently when she was younger, she was in a JCPenney's sponsored fashion
That's
show.
fantastic.
Yep, I did one or two of those.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
had to go to like the salon and get made up. And it was all like it was back to school theme, so they were like showing off the new back to school clothes and
just
the
like the
dresses for like
backpacks and, yeah.
homecoming,
Mhm.
right? So they
Yep.
had like there was like the formal one, like the formal section afterwards for the homecoming dresses. It's like this is the best. Like I worked in malls a long time. I've never even been
Oh
near
my,
a mall fashion show, and I love it.
that's awesome.
Oh man, what a good game! What a bunch of goofballs.
I like it. That's Mall Kids.
It was
That's
so
awesome.
so
That's
good.
Malkin's.
Thank you so much. This was so good.
Thanks for having
I really
me.
like this game. So I guess let's go back around one last time and tell everyone where they can find you and anything you want to let people know about. Feel free to do that. We can go in the reverse order that we started with, so we can start with you, Matthew. Tell us.
Sure. Yeah, I have been Matthew. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. MR Matthew. You can buy a PDF copy of Mall Kids at mr-matthew.itch.io. There are still some zine copies up on Gumroad if you would like to buy a physical copy along with pins and things. Yeah, I make weird games and have hot takes about tabletop role playing games, such as there is no such thing as a non-gamer. So if you want that in your feed, go follow me there, and you'll get a big dose of that.
Awesome.
I'm Kaitlin. Thanks for having me on your show. It's very fun. You can find me on Twitter at KKAMABR. I also stream usually twice a week. Been trying to do twice a week. I usually do art streams. You can find me on Twitch at KAMABR. I also do a podcast about folklore and mythology,
nice.
which you can check us out on Twitter at StonehousesCast, and all the info is there. But yeah, otherwise I do art, and I'm an illustrator and a comic artist. So if that's your jam, that's where to find me.
Awesome. We didn't
Cool.
do favorite moments. Do y'all have favorite moments? You both have to do something
A
from
favorite moment?
something from the game.
Kai in the front row yelling up at neighbor.
Yeah.
Hey neighbor. I love that. Cute.
I mean, it wasn't my team, but like if I was watching like the movie of this, it is the wait, who's Kai? Cut.
That's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
yeah,
It is the best. That is the best part of this movie for sure.
Love it. What about?
So I guess that's me, right?
Yeah.
So we'll start with favorite moment, and my favorite moment was undoubtedly, and Matthew kind of led into this at the beginning of the game, talking about, hey, think of it cinematically and like movie moments. And I loved all the leans into the smash cuts and the jump cuts and all the like highlight this, expression this, especially things like when we were at lunch, and then it was just like pause, watch the kid drive by.
Yeah.
Like all of that highlight and all of that sort of stuff was awesome. It really kind of brought that feeling forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I I love that too. I think that has to be one of my favorite things is how much fun you can have sort of doing the like the movie moments, especially because we were doing kind of like a 90s ish kids movie and like mall kids type movie, and like you said, the way we all were like, okay, if this was a movie, you would see the shot, like, you know, you see the kid behind and then someone runs after them and you see everyone realizes this moment at the same time, and there's that music of like da-da, and like everyone's like that is so good. I love that. And I love that Julia has to learn a really complicated game now, like as a result.
Yeah, she's
like,
stressed out about that. I think in the car then on the way, she's like, okay, so my man, Stevie, we're gonna have to talk. Like, do we start a group? Do we start a gaming group? Is that what happens now? Is that our...
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Oh my
we have to teach Julia how to play games.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be some nights doing that. Absolutely.
Yeah, amazing. I love it. But yes, I have posted a link, the command in the chat, where you can go find this game. Go check it out, pick it up. I've posted the link in the chat for everyone's Twitter, so you can go find them and follow them. So make sure you do that. If you're watching this later over on YouTube, all the links will be down below. So go check out this game. Go check out all these cool people and all that stuff. I'm Jess. This is my channel. Thanks for being here today. You can find me at go_JG. Make sure you follow so we can hang out more and play more games. This was a ton of fun, and I hope we can do more stuff in the future.
Thanks for having us.
Definitely more.
Thank you all
definitely
so much for
more malls.
coming. Yeah, definitely more mall stuff. Because gosh, this was I did not expect. Can I just say I did not expect a fashion show, and a lot of your references are out there for me, because like we don't like, because you're like, oh, you know, where they show off the like homecoming dresses, like we don't have homecoming, so I don't know. I'm like, what like
Good.
You know what I
Good.
mean? There's a lot of references that are they only exist to me because occasionally you see them in American movies and stuff like that, but otherwise like that is my only reference for them is in over the top movies.
Sure.
The real new kid was Jess all along.
Surprise, it was me. Yeah, as Justin put in chat, the trouble with being Canadian. like all my references were of just all the most ridiculous movie moments. So the fact that we played out the most ridiculous movie moments.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. And I'm so happy. So
yeah, get a copy of Mall Kids for $5 and then write the next hit 90s teen movie.
Oh my god, it's so good. Everyone go check it out. Go find it now. Pick it up for yourself. You will not regret it. It is just so good. So yeah, thank you all for playing. Thanks everyone who stayed and watched and commented and gave us so many fun ideas.
Yes.
So have a good day, and hopefully we'll see you all soon.